Hey, welcome into Utah Grizzlies hockey. We are live at the Weber County Ice Sheet in Ogden as we get ready for game 2 of the preseason. Tonight, Tyson Whiting. I am Tim Montemayor. That is the voice of the Utah Grizzlies, Tyson Whiting. And Tyson, I'll tell you what, last night in Boise, I think we saw a very surprising performance, if you will, out of the Utah Grizzlies. What do you take away from that game?
I thought Lucas Creek looked good in net. He stopped 31 of 34 in his Grizzlies debut. Last season, he was Rapid City's starter. And I think about the defensive performance. You know, Bryson Martin, Andrew Nilsson got some work in last night. I really liked what I saw from Dakota Raby, so much so that he's the scratch tonight. As I think Ryan Kanasowicz has seen all he wanted to see out of him in the preseason. He should be pretty strong in either the second or third line for the Grizzlies. And I really like the play of Taryn Pfizer. It's kind of just a continuation of an outstanding training camp. But Taryn Pfizer looks like he's a little bit stronger this year. In his first full season as a pro, he's a breakout candidate for the Grizzlies, and he'll be in the lineup once again tonight. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. One of the real stars of the game last night was Taryn Pfizer, and one of the things that really stands out about Taryn is the fact that he's a two-way player, and I thought that really showed last night. But there's some new faces in this lineup as well. I think Tyler Penner is one of those guys, and Ben Tardiff is another one. I can't imagine you're not looking forward to calling their names tonight. Tyler Penner just played in every game last season, and he was a stalwart for the Grizzlies on the face-off circle, did a lot of the little things, and he is a two-way forward. You'll see him defensively, whether it's the penalty kill or him just clearing pucks out of the zone. He's an outstanding defensive forward. And Ben Tardiff, all he did last season was lead the team with 59 points. He had 39 assists, which also led the club, and he's coming off a playoff run, which is one for the ages. 5 goals and 25 assists. The 25 assists in the last postseason is tied for second most in league history for a single playoff. So he's in his second season of an AHL contract. He's got outstanding speed, and he's that playmaker that makes everybody on the ice better. Yeah, absolutely right. So big night of Utah Grizzlies hockey coming up. You're going to hear from Ryan Kanasowicz coming up here, I don't know, in probably 5 to 10 minutes, so stick around for that. But first, this week at practice, we had a great opportunity, speaking of Andrew Nilsson, to put a microphone on the big defenseman for the Utah Grizzlies. And trust me, you don't want to miss what we got from Andrew Nilsson mic'd up.
Keeps in content.
You like it that way.
I'll give our media staff this. They got some good shoes. Everyone's got good shoes on again. You go, and then I'll just release to the wall because it's going to rim it. And then if I get it, you release middle, and I'll just bump to you. Ready? Feisy! Gotta slow it down and break out. Skeet!
So you're gonna cut through the middle here and shoot, and then you're gonna come back around and get a second pass, and you're gonna drive low.
What did you have for breakfast today?
Huh?
What did you have for breakfast today?
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Just a protein bar.
Hot garbage breath.
Huh?
Yeah, bad breath.
Do I?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Really?
Apartment 511 has the best couch out here. No, not a big deal. Hey, JMO?
That's one.
Yeah.
That's one I want.
No one else is allowed. $5 cover charge. Sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Except Shearsy.
What's going on?
Yeah. Good tattoos, he's allowed.
Yeah.
Except the Wheat Kings still suck. Nice move. Do we have to cut back or can we go high?
No, he wants you.
Okay. Snapping it. Backhand. I'm gonna turn and go backhand. Up here. Do you want us to shoot it or drive for our post? Doesn't matter. Yeah. With your man purse, holy. Yeah.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
All right, welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey live in Ogden at the Weber County Ice Sheet as we get you ready for Game 2 of the preseason between the Idaho Steelheads and your Utah Grizzlies. Don't forget that we open up less than a week from now, next Friday already, Tyson, if you can believe that. It will be Rapid City in town at the Maverick Center, and one of the things we're really excited about is all the upgrades at the Maverick Center. Make sure you follow the Utah Grizzlies on social media this week, whether that be Twitter, TikTok, or Facebook, because you're going to see a lot of big upgrades coming. Get ready. You do not want to miss Friday night. The building is going to be lit. It's going to be beautiful. And by the way, the Mountain Division Championship banner is going to be raised to the rafters at the Maverick Center. It is going to be amazing. Get your tickets right now at utahgrizzlies.com for opening night on Friday. Tyson, before we hear from Coach, you know, one of the things I thought was so interesting about Andrew Nielsen there was just the interaction, the personality. And it seems like Andrew is a larger-than-life personality back there on the blue line. But that blue line is deep. There's a lot of guys that Ryan Kanasowicz has on that defensive core that look really good. Who are some of the defensemen on this team that you really like?
I really like Connor McDonald. What he did last season in terms of playing the angles, you know, you get a one-on-one situation. He does a great job of boxing out his, the offensive player, forcing him to the corner, forcing him along the boards, just making things tough on the opposition. He's one of those guys that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but he shows up every night. And that's kind of the similar case with Nate Clerman. Clerman's a scratch tonight. McDonald didn't play last night, but we'll see Connor in there tonight. Those two defensemen last season, everybody talked about Nastu and Martin because of the points and because of them playing on the power play mostly. You talk about two of the unsung heroes for the Grizzlies last year. That was Clerman and McDonald.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. And you know, I was really impressed with Clerman last night because really, for the most part, I felt like the performance that he gave is exactly the stability that those defensemen needed, especially with the way that the Grizzlies struggled a little bit. I thought one of the real strengths coming out of preseason game number 1 and what I'm hoping to see tonight, the penalty kill, largely thank you to Nate Clerman. I mean, he was a big part of stability on special teams. I was really impressed with the way that most of the Grizzlies killed penalties last night.
Yeah, the penalty kill did struggle in terms of percentage last year. It was one of those where they'd have about 8 good games worth of penalty kill, and then they'd have a game where they'd give about right. 2 or 3, and it'd kind of mess the percentage up. Penalty kill, I almost want to see the Grizzlies get a few penalties here tonight just to see what the penalty kill unit looks like. For Idaho, their two best power play performers, Matt Register up top and A.J. White out in front of the net. Both guys are going to be out for Idaho. But even then, you still got to find a way to kill off penalties. And early in the season, it's not necessarily a bad time, especially against a team like Idaho, who traditionally is pretty good on the power play, to work on some things on the penalty kill.
Well, and I also think you should expect a far better performance out of the Utah Grizzlies tonight, because this has been a difficult weekend. And to take you behind the scenes a little bit, and Tyson, I think you can attest to this, the bus ride was a little bit difficult. Yesterday on the way up, the heat on the bus was broken, and not in the right way, because if the heat's broken and it doesn't work, at least you can warm yourself. The heat was broken in that it was stuck on the team bus, and what it led to was a lot of guys feeling dried out and dehydrated. So you get to Boise and you get to the arena and you don't feel your best. Okay, well, let's play the game, let's do our best, and certainly this was a work hard, came right down to the last shift of the game, frankly, but then you guys got on the bus and came right back home, and the heat was still broken on. It was a long trip. This was not exactly a pleasure cruise up and back from Boise.
The good news is I did lose about 6 pounds worth of sweat on the bus on the way back.
How hot? Was it really that hot on the bus?
It was really hot. It was one of those where you were just you just couldn't wait for us to get back to Maverick Center and get off that bus. It was extremely hot. You talk about a sauna, you talk about Boston Garden in June, it was that kind of hot.
Yeah, you know what? And that's part of the challenge playing in a league like this, because you are, and frankly, with Boise and Utah, the Grizzlies, out here kind of the western front of the ECHL, there's a lot of eastward travel for these clubs. I mean, if you remember when the ECHL was largely a California league and you were taking constant bus trips, 10, 12, 13-hour bus trips out to the West Coast to play teams like the Stockton Thunder, if you will, that was a very different league. Now a lot of the travel is by air because, frankly, it's just much further. So there are very few bus trips on the season. But, I mean, I think that makes a difference. I don't know that it's certainly not an excuse, but I think the way teams travel truly makes a difference in their performance.
Well, that's why it's tough to win on the road in this league, especially a team like Idaho outside of Utah and maybe Rapid City if they want to take a bus trip there. Everything else is a plane. So you're talking about plane rides. You're not necessarily staying in the 5-star hotels. You don't know what kind of travel accommodations you're going to get, especially if you got to travel to multiple cities. If you're playing in the Central Time Zone, You might play Allen one night, get on a bus, travel to Wichita or travel to Tulsa, play the next night. And so that's where, it's tough to win on the road. And for the Grizzlies to have 19 road wins, which I believe was the most in about 20 years in team history. That's why the Grizzlies won the division, is they were able to find a way to win those road games. And that's why, for a team like Idaho and Utah that has such distinct home ice advantages, that's why it's important to protect home ice as well.
Yep, I agree with that. Hey, stay tuned, Tyson. We'll be back here in about 2 minutes with a roster breakdown because we have some new faces that you are not going to want to miss tonight for the Utah Grizzlies into the lineup. Tyson will have a lineup breakdown for you. But just about 5 minutes ago, 5-10 minutes ago before we came on air, I had the chance to meet up with Ryan Kanasowicz downstairs to talk to him about last night's game and what he expects out of his guys tonight.
For about 45 minutes of it, we had that second period where guys were just mishandling the puck, not getting pucks deep, just kind of some bad habits, probably some summer habits out of them, but I guess that's why we're doing these preseason games. I'd rather it happen now than next week, so hopefully we can fix that tonight and have a better outcome.
Yeah, obviously you got some really strong goaltending last night. I have to imagine you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, Lucas played really well. Kind of felt bad for him. We left him out to dry a little bit, but like I said, things to clean up. It's preseason. It's all good things. Some video to watch and some teaching moments for the guys for sure.
What do you expect out of Garrett Metcalf tonight? It's been a minute since he's been in a game. He's coming off of that shoulder. What are your expectations for him?
They'll still be high. I mean, he's coming out of AHL camp in Calgary, so he would have got some inter-squad game action there. So I expect him to be dialed in and ready to go.
You look at your forwards. Do you expect to play Tardiff tonight? How much do you expect to see from him?
He'll play tonight. We'll insert a few Penner, Zekos. Forward group should be a little stronger tonight. So I expect them to really push the pace, especially on this Olympic sheet, and hopefully get these fans buzzing here.
Yeah, you got to love this building, though. I know it's not an NHL building, but one, it's really cold, and two, it's loud. This building's loud. Do you guys like playing here?
Yeah, I mean, last year it was electric here. The coach's office is a little gritty, but you got to roll with the punches here.
Good luck.
Thank you.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. We talk about some of the amazing stories of training camp. I think Victor Bartley is the story of training camp. 34 years old. He's a former teammate of Ryan Kanasowicz's. That's right back in the 2009-2010 season. That was the year where Kanasowicz averaged about 2 points a game for the Grizzlies. Victor Bartley was a defenseman for Utah. It was his first full season as a pro. He played 21 games for Utah. Then he got called up to the AHL, and we didn't see him after that, as he spent some time in the AHL for a couple years. And then he spent 4 years in the NHL with the Nashville Predators. He played about 121 games with Nashville, ended up spending about 9 games later on with the Montreal Canadiens. He was in the KHL the last 3 years, and I think somehow he ended up living in Utah, decided to get a home in the Utah area, called up Ryan Kanasowicz, and he's here on a tryout deal. Victor Bartley did not play last night, but he will be in the lineup for the Grizzlies tonight. He is one of 6 defensemen for Ryan Kanasowicz's crew. We'll also see Bryson Martin, one of the newest members of the Grizzlies. It's his 8th different ECHL team. I talked with him a little bit on the bus. That's right, the bus that was about 115 degrees. And he's a guy that's got a lot of experience, a lot of savvy. He's got a lot of great stories. And he's somebody that I think Ryan Kanasowicz wants to take a good hard look here at training camp. Is he going to be a power play guy? Is he going to be, a goal scorer? What is Bryson Martin? I think that's what Ryan Kanasowicz is trying to figure out this weekend. He'll be wearing number 14 for the Grizzlies. We'll also see Andrew Nilsson once again. He had 9 goals in 36 games last season, but remember, he was a defenseman that didn't get any power play time last year or got very little power play time. So Nilsson will be on the blue line. We'll probably see him being as a finisher on the power play, maybe playing in that role that Dastu played on the right circle. And it'll be interesting to see what Nilsson brings to the table. And obviously, he's the biggest of all the Grizzlies defensemen at 6'4" and 230 pounds. Connor McDonald will be in there for the Grizzlies wearing number 5, his second year with Utah. McDonald was actually a college teammate at Bowling Green for 2 seasons with Cameron Wright, one of the Grizzlies forwards. Wright will be wearing number 17. He was particularly good in the second period of last night's game. So the 6 defensemen, we mentioned McDonald. Also, and there's Bryson Martin, Jordan Stone, the former Utah Outlier. That's right. He's in rival territory as the Ogden Mustangs are the arch rivals of the Utah Outliers. Jordan Stone will be in the lineup. We'll also see Kyle Pouncey, Victor Bartley, and Andrew Nilsson. That's the 6 defensemen for the Grizzlies. Utah will be going with 11 forwards. That's right. In this league, it's going to be 17 skaters. Last year it was 16. 2 years ago in the COVID-impacted year, it was 17 skaters. And so that's what it's going to be. We will see Ben Tardiff tonight. He led the club with 59 points last season. Terran Pfizer's really been a standout for the Grizzlies in camp. He had an outstanding playoff run with 15 points in 18 playoff games. He'll be wearing number 8. Zach Sekos, number 11 in your program, but he changed to number 17 today. Sekos will be wearing number 17. He played his college hockey at Clarkson University, and like Pfizer, had a pretty good playoff run. Sekos, in my mind, has been particularly good in camp as he looks like he's not only fast, but he's got a lot of quickness. He can change on a dime, and I'm really excited to see what Sekos is able to do in his first full season as a pro. He didn't play last night, but we'll see Dylan Fitz. Fitz was one of the outstanding two-way forwards for the Grizzlies in their playoff run, one of the best penalty-killing forwards I'd seen in my time here in Utah. Last year, Fitz wore number 12, but he'll be wearing number 13 for the Grizzlies. Number 12 is Keaton Jamison. He had 2 assists in last night's 3-2 loss, so he had an assist in both of Utah's goals. He'll be wearing number 12. Remember, he played a little bit with Fort Wayne last season. He was acquired by the Grizzlies at the trade deadline last season. He's done particularly well in 3 different games, 2 last season and last night, all of them against the Idaho Steelheads. We will also see Kyle Betts, number 61. He wore an A on his sweater. I'm not sure who are wearing the A's tonight, but Betts, his first full season as a pro out of Cornell University. We'll also see Cam Strong wearing number 26. Last season, he played with Reading and South Carolina. Tyler Penner makes his Grizzlies 2022-23 debut. He played in every regular season, postseason, and playoff game last year, and he had 13 goals and 20 assists for Utah last season. So once again, the forwards, and I mentioned Cameron Wright a little bit earlier, he's got a lot of scoring potential. Last season, he won a national championship with Denver University. Joey Strada is on a tryout deal. He'll be out there for the Grizzlies wearing number 6. So the 11 forwards for the Grizzlies tonight, Strada, Pfizer, Sekos, along with Jamison, Fitz, and Wright, Tardiff, Penner, and Strong, and Kyle Betts out there, and Joey Colatarchi. Remember last season, he played forward and defense for Utah. He'll be a forward for the Grizzlies tonight. So 11 forwards and 6D. Colatarchi, normally a defenseman by trade, but he'll be a forward for the Grizzlies tonight. And Monty, I think that you're talking about an outstanding 17-man unit tonight, and we're talking about some of the guys that didn't play last night. I'm really excited to see Dylan Fitz out there to go along with Tardiff and Penner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're exactly right, and I think one of the things that you hit on so accurately there is, you look at the way certain guys are going to be used by Ryan Kanasowicz, and I think that's going to be an ever-evolving equation as this season goes on, as you see the Utah Grizzlies are on the ice getting ready to start this game off. And I think one of the guys that is really important and really needs to have a good performance tonight is Garrett Metcalf. I spent, a good 5-10 minutes talking with Garrett about his shoulder situation. For those who don't know, he had a procedure on his right shoulder to repair a labrum. That is his blocker shoulder. And it's something that he had dealt with for a long time. So he had really labored through that. and it's good to see Garrett back between the pipes tonight. Of course, I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that Garrett Metcalf is an NHL caliber goalie in development. So it'll be fun to see him tonight as we get ready for the national anthem here in Ogden. And I would say one of the biggest things tonight, Tyson, is simplify everything with what they're doing. Simplify everything. And if you simplify everything, I think things are going to work out quite well.
Well, with their team speed, all you have to do is play north-south games. I think they might announce the lineup. Starters for the Grizzlies, Ben Tardiff is on the blue line. So is Taryn Pfizer and Kyle Betts. Two defensemen to start things out will be Connor McDonald and Bryson Martin. For Idaho, Jordan Kawaguchi is going to be starting at a forward spot. He spent the entire season last year with the Texas Stars of the AHL. Jonas Svanenbergs had a goal in last night's game.
Nice
He's going to start
job.
as well. Ty Pelton-Bice is also going to start for Idaho. And it looks like the two defensemen, Patrick Kudla's starting for Idaho wearing number 47, and Owen Hedrick, number 7. Hedrick did not play in last night's game. That's the 5 starters for the Idaho Steelheads. Two notable absences, A.J. White and Matt Register, look like they're both out for the Steelheads. In net for Idaho is going to be Remy Poirier, who's got a 21-year-old that's got an NHL entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars. So a guy that's got a lot of potential, 6'2", 216 pounds, out of Quebec. He played in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League last season. So we got a good goaltending matchup. I imagine we'll also see Peter Thome play for Idaho about halfway through. Maybe he'll get the third period, and should be a lot of fun tonight. Two good teams, two teams that probably are going to be favorites for the Mountain Division Championship this season. But now, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets ran above her still there. Oh, say does that sustain for the land of the free and the
Well, what a great rendition of the national anthem there on a Saturday night here at the Weber County Ice Sheet. Grizzlies wearing the white jerseys tonight with black numbers and professional green trim. The Idaho Steelheads wearing the same jerseys they wore last night, which is a kind of a royal-looking blue with white numbers and a little bit of black mixed in.
Tyson, I'm still trying to figure out what is professional green trim. You use all these big, important words that I don't understand.
Well, you know, Augusta National, you know, at some of those places where you got to be professional, but you decide to wear green.
Yes.
Grizzlies kind of had that shade of green. It's a professional shade of green.
Well, let's hope we see a professional level of hockey tonight. This is going to be an exciting matchup. I would expect the Utah Grizzlies to be much more decisive on the puck. I think Ryan Kanasowicz talked to his guys, frankly, about being a lot more deliberate, especially in the offensive zone at the blue line. I think they'd really like to see if there's any question about whether or not you can throw the D-man can throw that puck across the blue line. I think if there's any question about that, dump that puck in deep and let's see what you know the other forwards can get. But by the way, right out of the gate, Benjamin Tardiff is going to be in the lineup. Good old number 20 for your Utah Grizzlies. This is a guy that I think everybody is very excited to see, and I'm actually excited to see him with Betts. And that combination, I think, is going to be fantastic.
That's an outstanding three-man unit. Tardiff, Betts, and Pfizer. Starting defensive pairing is Bryson Martin and Connor McDonald. McDonald and Betts each have A's on their sweater. Ty Pelton-Bice will take the face-off for Idaho. Referee tonight is Jake Jackson. He was the ref last night in Boise. The linesmen are Colin Kleinendorf and Tyler Keston. It's the first time we've seen Keston. He might be one of those young guys trying things out. Maybe he's on an audition.
But always good to see Colin, longtime official in this league.
20 minutes are put on the scoreboard here at the Weber County ice sheets. Kyle Betts won about 55% of his faceoffs at Cornell University. As the puck is dropped and we're underway, Idaho skating from left to right as we see it from high atop here. As the Steelheads go D to D, now they get it into Grizzlies territory and dump it in. It goes out of play. And it looks like we'll have a neutral zone draw as we get our first whistle 9 seconds into the game.
Hey, by the way, really good to see everybody on YouTube this evening. If you are listening on YouTube, please give us a hello. Drop us a comment. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. We'd love to shout you guys out on the broadcast tonight, as always.
That's right. Listening on YouTube, we'll try to paint a picture for you. As Martin goes D to D to McDonald, now to neutral ice. Pass too far for Tardiff to reach as it rolls towards the Idaho goaltender, Remy Poirier. As the puck is in the Grizzlies' offensive zone left side, Tardiff skates towards the point, gets to Pfizer. Pfizer just outside the left circle, skates to the point himself. Now he's facing the net. He'll take a shot, and it gets blocked about 10 feet in front of Poirier. Idaho will clear it out to center. Vandenbergs gets it between his legs, but it goes back to Bryson Martin wearing number 14, which was trading at Bradley's number last year. Pfizer over to Tardiff. He's on the left side. Tardiff with great speed. Gets around Hedrick, around the net. Now Tardiff's on the right side, stops to the point, and kicks off his skate and goes back to neutral ice. Martin gets over towards Cameron Wright. He gets poked away by number 74, Cody Heiskanen. As puck ends up at the Utah blue line, Zach Sekos, number 17, bounces off the glass. Sekos was number 11 as of earlier this week. As Jack Becker, number 27, in the right corner, as the Steelheads in the offensive zone. He gets over to Willie Neerum. He lets it go past him as it's along the end wall around the net. Idaho feeds it back to the left point. Steelheads get it across to Heiskanen. He played at Cornell, was a teammate of Kyle Betts. He rims it around the board. Zach Walker in the area with Andrew Nilsson. Nilsson took it away from Walker. He'll get it ahead to right. Right cross ice over to Keaton Jamison. It goes over his stick. Now the puck's in the Steelhead zone, but Heiskanen has control. Heiskanen skates around his own net, being shadowed by Jamison. Jamison was 27 for the Grizzlies last year. He's wearing number 12 this season. Idaho skates north-south. Nick Canati, who had a goal last night, crosses center ice, gets around Tyler Penner. Penner wearing number 21 again this season, his second year with Utah. Jordan Stone deep in the Grizzlies zone, boxes out Wade Murphy as the puck ends up in the right corner. Penner in the area. Pouncey pushes it back to the corner. Battle 2-on-2 in the corner. Grizzlies trying to come out with it as Pouncey gets double teamed. He'll spin it along the near wall. And he goes towards Cam Strong, number 26. He'll get it back towards Penner. Penner stations himself behind Garrett Metcalf as the Grizzlies spread the ice. 2 minutes into the game, still no score. Pouncey being shadowed by Colton Keller. Keller, number 34, was Idaho's unsung hero last year. Now Pouncey throws it out to center ice. It bounces off the stick of Dylan Fitz, who's wearing an A on his sweater. As the Steelheads get over to Matt Steve. He'll bounce it off the boards for Wade Murphy. Murphy, a former draft pick of Arizona. Goes back to Steve. He'll go D to D to Kudla. Now Idaho will step over the offensive line. Steelheads get it to Keller. Get it back to Jade Miller. Miller wearing number 26. He played for South Carolina last year and played in all 72 games. He loses the puck. Victor Bartley in his first shift in the preseason. Bartley, 129 games of NHL experience. He has the puck. Very patient behind Garrett Metcalf. Bartley fakes to his right. Now Bartley still with the puck. He's to the side of Garrett Metcalf's net. Now nudge it ahead to Joey Strada. He'll get it to Andrew Nilsson. Big Andrew gets it past Joey Colatarchi. Utah gains the offensive line as Strada skates towards the corner, tries to get it to Colatarchi. It goes past him to the right corner. Colatarchi delivers a big hit on Janice Vandenbergs as Utah gathers it over to the left side. Bartley gets it. It's like a lefty shot. Saved by Poirier. Bartley was wide open on the left side, but Poirier denies him of his first preseason goal.
But what are you already seeing? You're seeing a lot more deliberate hockey out of the Utah Grizzlies. And one of the things you see right there from Victor Bartley is that he is being much more measured behind the net. He was waiting for the play to develop. I think the other thing that you saw there, he put a big physical hit to end the pressure from Idaho behind the net. Really good to see Victor Bartley on the ice.
Draw one by Idaho. Betts didn't even move. Betts just standing on with the stick on his knees as the Steelheads skate from left to right. No score, about 3.5 minutes in. Jack Becker across the center ice, now bouncing off the near glass. Rolls around Garrett Metcalf's net along the end wall as Martin will get it ahead. Now towards center ice, picked off by Nick Canati, who seems like a good defenseman. He'll skate down the middle, take a shot, and goes wide as he trying to go stick side on Metcalf. As it bounced off the glass and is in the left corner. Bryson Martin, who's got good size, tries to nudge it ahead towards Tardiff. It goes back towards Martin in the corner. Idaho comes up with it. Right side, Heiskanen. He'll take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to Utah. Tardiff gets into neutralize. He crosses center. Gets around Canati. Tardiff now on the right side. He'll take a shot. On it, glanced off Poirier and goes out of play off the protective netting. That speed of Ben Tardiff. You see guys, every team only has about 3 or 4 of those guys that can create his own look. Tardiff goes coast to coast and got himself a great scoring chance on the right side.
Well, that's what we've all been waiting for. And I'll tell you what, get your tickets for Friday night at the home opener against Rapid City, because Ben Tardiff is worth the price of admission at twice the price. He is that good, friends.
I had a feeling you were going to say that because I was thinking the same thing. Idaho wins the face-off. They get it out to neutralize. It glances off the skate. Steelheads tie Pelton Bice as the puck go past him. Pouncey over there to the corner. Grizzlies get it out to neutralize. Utah feeds it to Zach Sekos. Number 17 crosses center and dumps it in as it rolls around the boards. Takes a rough ride around Poirier. Steelheads get it back over to the left corner as they spread the ice. Idaho lifts it high into the air. Kyle Pouncey played it with a high stick at the Idaho blue line, and the whistle blows. Good job by Jake Jackson, who's in his second season as an ECHL referee.
But already you can see that, very deliberate intention that we talked about in the pregame. Get that puck deep in the zone, get that puck behind the Idaho net, and I think we saw Zekos do it right there, and he did it very well.
Faceoff's going to be at center ice. Colin Kleinendorf will drop the puck. Ty Pelton Bice will take it for Idaho. They'll be going up against Zach Sekos. Both guys wear number 17. Sekos wins the draw. Grizzlies spread the ice at neutral as Grizzlies get over to Jordan Stone. Stone will rim it around the boards. It rolls back towards the far side in the Steelhead zone. As Grizzlies skate from right to left in this first period, up top to the right point. Pouncey gets it back to the corner for Sekos. Sekos over towards Jamison in the corner. Jamison spins it back to the left corner for Cameron Wright. Wright gets hit by Matt Steef, who didn't play last night. Steef in his second season with Idaho. Grizzlies skate back towards the left point near the wall. Jamison trying to get it back towards Stone. Gets kicked towards the slot. Idaho gathers it. Pelton Bice throws a pass behind Spannenbergs. Sekos gets it off the wall. Sekos will peel it back into the Grizzly zone. He'll get it to Pouncey. Kyle, 3 goals and 4 assists last season, gets it to Jamison, who one time taps it deep into the Steelhead zone. As the Grizzlies make a line change about 5.5 minutes into this game, still no score. As Tyler Penner tried to feed Utah out to the left circle, Idaho picked it off. Gets it out to center ice. Nilsson picks off a pass. He'll get it to the Grizzlies line. Over to Penner, is wide open. He skates down the middle. Centering pass, shot. Saved by Poirier, and it deflects out of play.
Boy,
great
about
job.
The pace there, yeah, absolutely. Really good 1-2 passing. And the thing that you notice is that the Utah Grizzlies are doing a much better job tonight of getting through that neutral zone with pace and speed. And, if you were with us on the broadcast last night in that second period where things went wrong, that's what was missing. Certainly not early on tonight.
Penner found Strong with a pass, Strong shot. Ended up getting deflected by Poirier. Penner's going to take the face-off in the left circle. Idaho's won a few draws here early on. Idaho wins the face-off here. It's all bounced off the near glass. It gets it over to neutral ice. Andrew Nilsson gets it. Kicks off of Penner. Dylan Fitz in the area. Cam Strong gets it taken away. Well, I've been really impressed with Wade Murphy, number 6 of Idaho. As the Steelheads will skate north-south. Norrin Hedrick will bounce it off the far boards. Steelheads dump it in. Metcalf comes out of his net towards the far corner to get it. He'll throw it over to Tyler Penner. Penner gets it to Cam Strong. He's at neutral ice. Strong feeds it across off the boards for Dylan Fitz, who gains the offensive line. As Hedrick, as Miller hits Fitz, he fired it towards the net, and that one went towards the side of the net. Idaho picked it off. Now the Steelheads left it high into the air. It bounces into the Grizzly zone. Bryson Martin gets it. He'll throw a pass to Dylan Fitz, who one time taps it from center ice, deep in the Steelhead zone. Basically what Jamison did about a minute ago as Fitz comes off the ice. Idaho skates from left to right. Jack Becker across the center ice logo, veers off to the left, throws a pass to Timmons. Timmons left circle, righty shot, saved by Metcalf. Now Timmons around the net, out in front, kicked away. A lot of bodies in the crease. Utah comes out of it with the puck. Grizzlies clear it out to center. Kudla will get it towards number 14. That's Corey Thomas. Corey Thomas actually wearing number 37. Goes to Timmons. Timmons gets around Martin. Timmons is in the zone. He'll go to the Kudla. Right circle. Eitree's defeated across. One-timer. Saved by Metcalf. Zach Walker fired the one-timer. He gets it back. He'll throw it to Kudla on the right side. Kudla wearing number 47 as he dances around Joey Strada. Kudla skates towards the corner, gets it back to Walker, switched places with Kudla in the right point. Now Kudla around the net, centering pass, shot, and a score. Idaho gets on the board first. It's a nice centering feed connected. Is that Jordan Timmons? Looks like it is.
I'll tell you what, Matt Walker made a really nice play at the point to get that puck in deep, and you really appreciate the fact that, you know, Garrett Metcalf made 3 saves there, hit the post on one of them, did a nice job staying on that far post, but all for naught. A lot of pressure applied by Idaho right there. Man, you know, the tough part about that is that you had played really well. The Utah Grizzlies had played very well to open the game there as Tardiff back on the ice with the top line for Ryan Kanasowicz.
Timmons will get the goal. Find out the assist a little bit later on the Grizzlies ECHL app. Maybe we'll hear it from the PA announcer here in Idaho. As the Steelheads win the face-off at center ice. Idaho dumps it in as Kyle Pouncey around the boards. Pouncey skates towards the right corner as the Grizzlies are in their own zone. Tardiff gets it ahead. Now to center ice as Betts had it poked away by Kanadi. I've been really impressed by Nick Kanadi for Idaho. 22 years old, played in Finland the last couple of years. Grizzlies still in their own zone, start the attack. Left wing pass to Tardiff. He crosses center ice. Tardiff steps over the offensive line, spins it around the boards. Walker battling with Betts. Rolls towards the right side. Back over to Zach Walker. And the Steelheads in control. Corey Thomas fanned on a pass. Gets it back as Tardiff is chasing after him. Now to Ty Pelton Dice. They'll feed a rink-wide pass. Deflects off the stick and goes into row 4 of the section just to our right. As there's 12:18 left in the first. Steelheads lead 1-0.
Let's give some shout-outs. Gary Reichert says, so there's a camera on the announcers and not on the game. So the way that this is going to work this year is we're going to do all of our broadcasts right here on YouTube. You can still watch live video action on Flow Sports, but essentially we're taking the play-by-play and streaming it right here on YouTube.
Flow Sports has the exclusive video providing stream, so there's nothing we can really do about where the camera is placed. It's kind of where it has to be, unfortunately. Not because of our egos, but that's just the way it is. As a neutral zone draw won by the Grizzlies, Utah peels back into their own zone. As Idaho's up 1-0, Martin gets over to Nilsson. Andrew Nilsson feeds out to center ice, hits off a Stekos' stick, rolls to the right corner. Victor Bartley spins it across to Cameron Wright. Right over to the left circle for Jamison. He'll take a righty shot, saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to the left circle. Jamison feeds it to the end wall. He'll spin it back to the left point for Nilsson. Nilsson tries to get it to the corner. Jamison rolls over there. Jamison back to Nilsson up top. He'll feed it over to the right side for Victor Bartley. Bartley trying to kick it over to right, and he got kicked by Wade Murphy. Now to the left side. Jamison is thrown over to the corner. Owen Hedrick throws a check. Grizzlies skate towards the right side around the net. Now Cameron Wright over in the right point. Wearing number 15. The puck exited the zone. He disagrees, but it's offside on the Grizzlies. 11:31 left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0.
Kay Miller says, why is it on the streaming service? No Flow Sports.
Only 21 years old.
Yeah. Well, you know, Poirier looks really good, to be honest with you. I mean, that is why he's on an NHL deal, no doubt about that. You know, you look at the way that he's played tonight. He's really had some point-blank opportunities. He's made all those saves.
Kyle Betts will take the face-off against Ty Pelton Bice. Draw, kind of stays at the circle for a little bit. Grizzlies come out with it. Pfizer feeds it to the right point. McDonald tried to nudge it back to Pfizer. Idaho picked it off. Steelheads. Janice Spanenbergs wearing number 72. Gets it poked by Martin over to the corner. Spanenbergs gets it back. He'll feed it up top to Heiskanen. But it goes over a stick all the way deep in the Steelhead zone. Poirier skates all the way to the corner. Spins it around the wall. Nick Canati lances off a Grizzly skater and out of play off the protective netting. 10:30 left in the first. And you're talking about two of the best teams in the Mountain Division year in and year out. And you talk about the good play from the Grizzlies. Idaho's looked pretty strong as well, and I really like what I've seen from Idaho's defensive unit. They're going to make the Grizzlies work all year.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you're talking about Nick Canati, number 3. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time every time. Draw in the right circle is won by Idaho, and Idaho's not doing a broadcast tonight, so we thank all these Steelheads fans for tuning into the game. There's no icing on the play as the puck goes all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. Tardiff in the area, battling with Idaho, and Utah comes out of it with the puck as they skate around the net. Kyle Betts feeds it to center ice. Tardiff's pass is picked off. That's Nick Canati. Johnny on the spot once again. Kyle Betts at neutral ice, and he'll get it to Pfizer. Pfizer gets hit and gets divorced from the puck. Fans wanted to call, none to be had, and that was Nick Canati once again.
Yeah,
you
clean
talk
it
about
up.
impressive. He's
Clean
been
it up.
everywhere tonight. Over to Tardiff as he tries to feed it out in front to Betts. Betts had a stick in the way. Idaho comes out with it as they'll skate it out to neutral ice. Jordan Kawaguchi. He gets cut off by Jordan Stone. Right side shot saved by Metcalf. Puck goes over towards the left corner. Utah doubles teams the Steelheads. Tardiff in the area. Puck goes back over up top. And a left point shot saved by Metcalf. As the Steelheads still have it, they'll skate around the net. They try to feed it out in front. Jamison picks it off. Jamison throws it to the corner. Zach Walker skates over there, but doesn't get very close to Jamison. Jamison will hand it over along the end wall. Get it to center ice. Owen Hedrick dumps it in. Zach Walker collides in the corner with Jordan Stone. Jamison feeds it across in front of the net to Pouncey. Pouncey out to center ice. And his pass connects to Sekos. Sekos steps over the blue line, right side, just outside the circle. I tried to nudge it to Jamison, and Jack Becker cut in front of him. Becker has the puck as he skates around in the net. Less than 9 minutes left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0. Jordan Timmons got one out in front a few minutes ago. Now Nilsson left side shot, saved by Poirier. Rebound goes to Idaho. Wade Murphy near the Idaho blue line, feeds it across. Nobody's there. Murphy will get his own pass about center ice. Murphy gets hit by Sekos. Murphy dumped it in. Metcalf plays it behind his net. There's Utah. They're feeding out towards Andrew Nilsson, who lifts it high into the air. It bounces into Steelheads territory. Idaho nudges it back in the Grizzlies zone. Colin Kleinendorf, the linesman, says no icing. Grizzlies feed it back to Nilsson in his own corner. He'll get it to Victor Bartley, wearing number 42. Bartley very patient with his approach. He'll feed it over to the left side. Grizzlies get it out to center. Cameron Wright over to Penner at the Idaho blue line. Penner gets cut off. Grizzlies make a line change. About 8 minutes left in the first period. Steelheads lead 1-0. Idaho spreads the ice. Both teams playing fast here tonight. Wade Murphy up ahead. Now the Steelheads cross center ice and dump it in as they make a line change. Connor McDonald nudges it across to Bryson Martin. That's a defensive pairing tonight to watch out for. Up ahead to Cam Strong. He feeds it across to Fitz on the right side. Fitz over to Penner. He skates to the right. He'll take a shot. Saved by Poirier. Boy, Penner's looked outstanding here so far in his first period of the preseason. Idaho crosses center ice. Nick Canati. He's got great speed over to the left side. Shot saved by Metcalf. What a move by Canati to get around a couple Grizzlies. Rebound goes to Utah. Grizzlies cleared out to center. Spanenbergs gets it, and he'll feed it across to Patrick Kudla. 6'3", 174 pounds is Kudla, wearing number 47.
Very fast-paced tonight.
Now Canati gets around to Skater. Now it's center ice. Now he veers off to the right, steps over the line, now to the left side. Shot saved by Metcalf. Hit a little bit of iron, which was unkind. Kudla over to the corner, being shadowed by Joey Strada. I tried to feed it out in front. It kicks off the skate. Now the Steelheads. Grizzlies poke it back to the corner. Strada gets it, wearing number 6. Strada played with 3 different SBHL teams last year. He'll get it over to Jamison. Jamison left side, steps over the line. He'll feed it to the corner. As Canati gets it. He's been everywhere for the Steelheads. Up ahead to Timmons, the goal scorer tonight. Timmons gets around Nilsson, dumps it in. As Colatarchi and Timmons. Colatarchi drags him down by the neck. Timmons goes down, and that's going to be a penalty. Joey Colatarchi will get 2 minutes, and Idaho's going to be on the power play with 6:45 left in the first.
Yeah, you know what? I think you want to be a little smarter than that. When we come back, we'll get a look at the Utah Grizzlies penalty kill. 1-0 Idaho, 6:45 to go in the first.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
6:45 left in the first. Idaho will be on the power play. Joey Colatarchi gets 2 minutes. I didn't see what the call was, but he took Timmons and kind of dragged him by the neck and took him to the ice.
But I think very clearly we've seen that really deliberate, that decision-making. We're going to play deep in the Idaho zone, and I think the Grizzlies have done a great job doing that. I think one of the things that you're seeing is tonight this lineup for Idaho has been able to match that pace and that flow that Utah brought last night, and it's now going to be up to the Grizzlies kill this penalty and then find a way to get back even. This period is far from over. You got 6:45 to go. It's 1-0 Idaho.
I think it's possible that Everett Sheen in the offseason wanted to go out and get more speed, and you can almost see that on the ice. Idaho looks like they're matching Utah's speed.
I think he absolutely had to have more speed. And I think that's one of the problems that Idaho had last year, frankly, is they were more of a lumbering team. And I think they watched the Utah Grizzlies blow by them most of the season. And that's why it's tough to win on the road in this league if you're not fast.
Draw's going to be in the left circle. First power play of the game for Idaho. First power play for either team. Steelheads win the draw. As they'll feed it up top for Kudla. They'll get it across to Owen Hedrick, wearing number 7. They'll get it to the right circle. As the Steelheads take a shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound as it goes over to the left side. The shot was taken by Kawaguchi. Now Kawaguchi gets it back right side. He'll take a shot and it goes wide. As we get a whistle, and maybe the net got dislodged or something was wrong with Garrett Metcalf's equipment. As we get a whistle, 6:26 left in the first, 1:41 left in the power play.
Yeah, I think Garrett lost his glove there, or his glove came loose a little bit there. So blew the whistle. They'll do a little work on the crease as well with 1:41 to go in the Idaho power play.
Ty Pelton Bice will take the draw for Idaho against Utah's Ben Tardiff. Idaho wins the draw. Hedrick will feed it across to Kudla. Back up top for Hedrick. Now to the right side. Kawaguchi fake to one-timer. Now it gets to Hedrick. One-timer saved by Metcalf. Pelton Bice in the corner runs after it. He gets over to Hedrick. He's in the right circle. Hedrick skates towards his left. Now he stops in the slot and gets it up top for Kudla. He'll skate in. He'll feed it to the left side outside the circle. Now Hedrick gets it. Now to Kawaguchi. But Hedrick takes a shot himself. He gets blocked in front. Grizzlies trying to clear it out. Hedrick kept it in. Hedrick, one-timer. Saved by Metcalf. No rebounds allowed as Garrett holds on. 5:54 left in the first.
Boy, you really want Taryn Pfizer to clear that puck out. A little bit of a weak backhand. You got to turn and fire that puck decisively and get that all the way down to the Idaho end. I mean, now you're going to have another draw, and Idaho doing quite well at the faceoff dot tonight. And largely that's why they have a 1-0 lead here with 1:09 to go on the power play.
Jade Miller will take the faceoff against Zach Sekos. Normally, Idaho will feature A.J. White and Matt Register in the regular season. Both guys are out tonight. They combined on a power play goal last night in the third period as Idaho wins the draw. Heiskanen over towards Wade Murphy. As still has made a line change, so did the Grizzlies. Pass is picked off by Sekos. He crosses center ice, gets over to Kyle Betts, who splits a double team. Betts dumps it in deep to the Steelhead zone. He gets hit, and Idaho comes back up with it. Colton Keller in the transition game. He'll feed it to the left side. The Steelheads gain the line. Miller. It's poked away by Bartley as it goes towards the corner. Utah gathers it, spins it around, hits off Steelhead. Nielsen will get it at the goal line, and he'll snap it back the other end of the ice.
And that's what you want to see. Be decisive. Shoot that puck hard. And Nielsen certainly did that. He's having a much better night tonight than he did last night.
Cody Heiskanen skates across center ice, veers off to the left, gets around Fitz. Heiskanen now on the right side, late in the power play, 20 seconds left in the Idaho man advantage. Spins it back towards Spanenberg's in the corner. I try to get it over towards Kawaguchi, wearing number 77. Now up top for Heiskanen, right side. Now to Kanadi. He'll get it to the left side. Kanadi wants it, but it goes to the right for Heiskanen. It bounced off his stick. He'll regather it in the right point. Kolatarchi itching to get out of the penalty box. A shot and saved by Metcalf as didn't look like Heiskanen really had any other option. He fired towards Metcalf, and Garrett made a save with 4:40 left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0.
3 seconds to go on the power play, so the Steelheads will get one more offensive zone draw here with the man advantage. And big Matt Walker back on the ice here. He's really had an impact the last 2 nights. And tonight, he's not scared to throw that body around. And it really is a difference maker. The Utah Grizzlies are not the most physical team in the league, and Matt Walker loves that style.
Walker and Colton Keller, they're certainly 2 physical presences for Idaho. Steelheads win the draw. Zach Walker skates the right side around an official. Walker around the net as Kolatarchi out of the penalty box, and he joins the play. Kolatarchi gets the puck in the corner. He'll nudge it ahead. Grizzlies get out of the zone. Keaton Jamison crosses center ice. Gets around Matt Steve. Jamison left side, stops in the corner. He'll feed it to Pouncey left point. Glanced off his stick and goes out to center ice. Pouncey runs after it. He gets there before Willie Nerum. Jordan Stone They feed it to Steelheads territory, goes back towards the Grizzlies bench. Now Idaho. Jack Becker skates towards his right. He'll take a shot, and it gets blocked. And now it goes back to Willie Nearham left side. He tries to feed Walker out in front. Bouncing puck goes over his stick. Steelheads in their offensive corner. Right up top for Brady. Now back to Becker. Becker with a right wing shot. That one goes wide off the boards. It goes now to the left side. As Jordan Timmons. Timmons scored the goal earlier in the first period. He nudges it to the corner. Kyle Pouncey gets there. He feeds it across. Utah now on the right side. They'll skate out of the zone. Now bouncing off the boards. Strong gets boxed out. As puck deep in the Steelhead zone. Now Idaho comes up with it. Darren Brady skates around the net, his own net. And the Steelheads will nudge it back to the far side. Big hit delivered by Kyle Betts. Betts gets divorced on the puck as Brady took it away. He tosses it to the near side for Jordan Timmons. He'll feed it ahead. Jade Miller, number 26. He'll get it across to the left side. Passes wide of the mark for Wade Murphy. But Murphy gets it in the corner. Gets it back to Hedrick, who skates around the net. Owen Hedrick skates towards the right point and ends up going out of the zone. Good job by Cam Strong as the Grizzlies make a line change. Hedrick tosses ahead to Miller. He'll gain the line. Right side, he'll take a shot, and it gets blocked by Betts as it rolls towards the right corner. Ben Tardiff up ahead to Betts, but that pass didn't connect, and looks like it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies. 2:59 left here in the first. Idaho leads 1-0.
Boy, Betts has been one of the more impressive guys the last two nights for the Utah Grizzlies, and I know that Ryan Kanasowicz has liked what he's seen from him. This line's going to be on the ice now for a good long while here, but good active sticks tonight. That was a good penalty kill, even though Idaho had some grade A opportunities. They lead 1-0 with about 3 minutes to go here in the first, Tyson.
Raw's going to be in the left circle of the Grizzlies zone. Trying to see if we can find a shot count. Doesn't look like there's one on the video board here, but it feels like a lot of shots on both sides here in the first. Draw one by the Grizzlies. Andrew Nilsson skates around the net. He'll get it to Ben Tardiff. Tardiff from the left side back to Nilsson. Andrew skates it out to neutral ice. He crosses center. Nilsson skates down the middle and tries to feed it to the left side, but the Grizzlies are called offside as they're crossing the blue line.
Dump that puck in. Dump that puck in. You know, that's one of those things we talked about last night is finally the Grizzlies will get a line change here, but that's one of those things we talked about last night. You've got to get that puck deep into the Idaho zone. When you play with it through the neutral zone and then you play with it at the blue line, almost always you wind up offside.
Steelheads win the neutral zone draw. Less than 3 minutes left in the first period. As Haskinen crosses center ice and dumps it in as it rolls around. McDonald in the area. Idaho still in control as Pelton Bice gets hit and throws it over to the left point. Nick Canati. Canati, Cameron Wright hacking away. Canati across the goal line, skates to the right side. Looks to center it. Shot. That one gets blocked. That shot was taken by Svanenbergs. Now the Grizzlies skate from right to left. Utah 2-on-3. Tries to get McDonald cutting out in front of the net. Svanenbergs cut him off. Good job by Svanenbergs as the Steelheads look to ice the puck, but down there's Jack Becker. Metcalf gets tripped up by Becker. The referee spotted it. Becker tripped up Metcalf. Delayed penalty. Idaho touches up at neutral ice. And the Grizzlies going to be on the power play for the first time tonight with 2:01 left in the first as Jack Becker tripped up Grizzlies goaltender Garrett Metcalf.
Well, and you can't tell me Becker didn't know what he was doing. I mean, he essentially swept the legs out from underneath Garrett Metcalf, who's getting his, obviously his first reps in a game this season. That's not exactly what you like to see, and several of the Grizzlies wanted to have words with Becker, who, of course, after doing that, didn't want to have anything to do with it. That's one of those situations where oops, sorry isn't going to quite cut it.
Well, that's the way I've gone through my life. Oops, sorry seems to work at times for me. Betts will take the face off in the left circle, and Idaho wins the draw. Patrick Kudla will lightly tap it deep into the Grizzlies zone. As Andrew Nilsson will play it around the net. He'll feed it to Taryn Pfizer on the right side back to Nilsson. As the Grizzlies have a long way to go to get to the Steelheads net. As Nilsson will get it to Tardiff on the left side. He crosses center ice with speed. Tardiff gains the line, and he'll fire it across the boards. Grizzlies gather. They're trying to find Betts out in front. Walker cut in front of him. And Zach Walker will backhand it past Andrew Nilsson. On to Garrett Metcalf, who will cut it off about 5 feet in front of the crease. Now Nilsson at neutral ice. They'll throw it to the right wing for Pfizer. Pfizer across to the left for Tardiff. Ben steps over the line, stops to the point. Tardiff gets taken away. Svanenbergs. He's flying down the right wing. Svanenbergs. He'll skate in. Backhand shot. On it goes wide. Arm is raised by the official. Utah's going to get a penalty. So Hedrick over to the right side. As Steelheads in their own zone. Poirier's off the ice. Delayed penalty. As Idaho will clear it all the way out. Metcalf plays it. And looks like it's going to be a slash on Andrew Nilsson with 58.2 seconds left. That will do it for the Grizzlies power play. We'll have 58 seconds worth of a 4-on-4. And then after that, the Steelheads will have a power play probably to start the second period.
Yeah, 58 seconds to go. 1-0. Idaho leads Utah here in the first period, and Andrew Nielsen was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Unfortunately for him, as Ben Tardiff turned it over at the top of the offensive zone. Andrew had to race back to try and cover the Steelhead offender, and he wound up slashing him.
Faceoff's going to be in the left circle. Zach Sekos will take it for Utah. Listed as number 11 on the roster sheet, but he switched to number 17 today. Colton Keller will take it for Idaho. Keller wins the draw as the Steelheads. Right circle, Keller over to the goal line, feeds up top for Corey Thomas. Will take a shot. Save, rebound, shot, saved by Metcalf. And the puck ends up going out to neutral ice. Corey Thomas, who fought Austin Crosley late last season, as he's battling with Bryson Martin at the blue line. Grizzlies gather it. Sekos, 36 seconds left in the period and counting. CE crosses center ice in the left wing. Sekos cuts to his right. Over to Victor Bartley. Grizzlies onside. Now Sekos. As he'll feed it across to Bartley. Bartley's on the left, just outside the circle. Bartley skates to his right, takes a shot, and he gets blocked by Hedrick. Hedrick gets over to the left side for Keller. Keller, 2-on-2, skates to the left side. He'll take a shot. And it glanced off either a stick or Garrett Metcalf and goes out of play off the netting. 16 seconds left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0.
And Zeko's doing a nice job being a two-way player there. Great job of making sure he covered his D-man on a 4-on-4. Active stick, blocked the shot, wound up in the net and not in the goal. Seeing a lot of good defense played by the Utah Grizzlies forwards the last two nights.
Draws in the left circle, and it's won by Idaho. Steelheads have a poke out to center ice. We're skating 4-on-4 here. Idaho crosses center ice. Murphy skates to his right. Looks to center it out in front. He kicked off of Penner's stick. Now backhand shot by Steve. That goes wide. As that will do it for the period. Murphy with one more final shot, and Metcalf makes the save. Actually, it looked like Pouncey blocked it right in front of Metcalf. It looks like Pouncey smarting a little bit. As that does it for the first period. Jordan Timmons, about 7 minutes into the game. In fact, 7:01 to be exact. Scored with Zach Walker and Patrick Kudla getting the assists. Looks like the ECHL app's a little bit slow here tonight. Here at the Weber County ice sheet. Looked like in the first 9 minutes of play, shots were tied at 5. Looked like both teams were able to get quite a few looks. Idaho did a good job on the face-off circle. Nick Canati in particular had an outstanding first period. He's the last one to come off the ice for Idaho. And I thought Tyler Penner, in the shifts that he played, I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I did. And I think the interesting thing is that you had a lot of correction. You like a lot of what you saw. And the one goal winds up in the back of the net for Idaho, which gives them that lead. But I think when we come back here, one of the things we really need to focus on is, the addition of Ben Tardiff. I thought he played a real key role for the Utah Grizzlies in that first period. But after one, the Idaho Steelheads up 1-0 on your Utah Grizzlies. Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
First intermission here at the Weber County ice sheet. 6 days till the home opener against the Rapid City Rush. Idaho leads 1-0. Jordan Timmons scored 7:01 into the contest. Grizzlies had some really good shifts right before Idaho scored. Zach Walker and Patrick Kudla got the assists, and we want to thank some of the Idaho Steelhead fans for tuning in. Idaho is not doing a broadcast here tonight. They got a first-year broadcaster named Cam McGuire, who came over from the Worcester Railers, and he was the league's broadcaster of the year last year. Colin Shuck looks like he is just kind of taking a break, a different lifestyle. Colin was about 5 times the broadcaster I am, and considering that Cam McGuire won the award and I'm not in the top 5 in the league, I'd say McGuire's probably about 10 times better than what I am. Hopefully Steelhead fans will enjoy him throughout the regular season and probably into the playoffs as well, as Idaho does look pretty good in the first 4 periods that we've seen in preseason.
Oh, you think?
I think it's one of those things where you talk about the favorites in the Mountain Division. Utah obviously winning it last year and having a lot of guys return. I think Idaho has improved their speed, and they got some experience with A.J. White and Matt Register. So I think those guys will be instrumental to their power play. And it looks like they're going to get some good goaltending. Jake Kupski was solid last night. Grizzlies had some pretty good looks in the first period. Remy Poirier, who's the 21-year-old on an NHL entry-level deal, had a good first period for Idaho, but I thought Garrett Metcalf also looked pretty strong for Utah.
I thought he looked very good, and again, if you're just tuning in, Garrett Metcalf hasn't played a lot of hockey of late. He was in an AHL camp for a bit, but he's also a guy that, he's coming off a shoulder surgery, and he's a guy that is just getting back on the ice in action for the Utah Grizzlies. I thought he was very solid. I thought he did a really nice job of being in the right position, and half the time that's the battle for goaltenders is poor positioning, and I think you're seeing why Garrett Metcalf is such an outstanding prospect for your Utah Grizzlies, because he seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Yesterday it was Lucas Parikh in net, and he looked outstanding. Stopped 31 of 34. Trent Miner right now is with the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Miner is one of those guys that you kind of want to see him stick in Colorado this year, as he's on the second year of an NHL entry-level deal. Let's get to some NHL scores tonight. Blackhawks play at about 8 o'clock against the San Jose Sharks. Monty, you want to keep an eye on that as a Chicago Blackhawks fan.
Because they're going to lose.
Well,
Thank
they're
you.
0-2, but they're facing the 0-3 San Jose Sharks, so something's got to give there.
So you're saying we have a chance?
I'm saying you got a chance, but it is a road game, so who knows? Vegas is at Seattle, and Calgary is at Edmonton at 8 o'clock. Games that have gone final. Pittsburgh defeats Tampa 6-2. Detroit over the Devils 5-2. Flyers go to 2-0 on the season. They defeat Vancouver 3-2. Florida defeats Buffalo 4-3. And games in progress. Late in regulation, 43 seconds left. Capitals lead the Canadiens 3-1. 1:15 left in the third period. Bruins lead the Coyotes 6-3. 2 minutes left in the third. Toronto leads Ottawa 3-2. 13 minutes to go in the third period. Islanders lead the Ducks 5-1. Late second period. Blue Jackets and Blues are tied at 2. 3 minutes left in the second. Stars are shutting out the Predators 4-0. And 5 minutes left in the second period in the high-scoring game. Kings lead the Wild 6-4.
What did you think of the Kings helmets last week, opening night at Crypto.com Arena? Tyson, what did you think of those? What did you think of those chrome helmets?
Well, I thought they were outstanding.
You liked them?
I did.
No, I'm not a fan at all. I am not a fan of all, but I am a big fan tonight as the Idaho Steelheads lead your Utah Grizzlies 1-0 right here on YouTube. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. We appreciate everybody who's listening. Make sure you say hello. We'd love to shout you out. But I am a big fan of Ben Tardiff, and I think one of the things that we saw is Ben played very fast hockey here. You know why he was up in camp with the Colorado Avalanche. We saw him in the preseason. We saw him with the Colorado Eagles, and now he's back here with the Utah Grizzlies. So you see that speed. I mean, he's one of those guys that when you look at Ben Tardiff, he's fast. He's got outstanding hands. I think you look at him. I think you look at Penner also brings that really smart, intelligent hockey player, usually does the right things with the puck. And I also think Zekos tonight really looked good. And I like the fact that all three of those guys are also two-way players. You're seeing really good defense out of the forwards.
Yeah, you talk about the kind of hallmark of the Grizzlies, really, in Ryan Kanasowicz's tenure, and you even saw it with Tim Branham, as you did see good two-way forwards. Tyler Penner kind of fits that model perfectly.
Yeah.
I think Tardiff, he's outstanding with the puck, and obviously his speed's a game changer. It seems like the things he's doing away from the puck, it seems like defensively, Tardiff seems like he's getting more and more confidence with the more pro experience he's gotten.
Oh, yeah.
And, a guy like Kyle Betts, he does so many different things on the ice as well. And so, you combine that with the skill of Taryn Pfizer, Zach Sekos. There's a good group of forwards for the Grizzlies, guys who can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that is going to be critical this season for the Utah Grizzlies is that they get off to a quick start, because, it's tough when you played at the level that this Grizzlies team played at last year. I mean, there was no question out west the best team was the Utah Grizzlies. That's a lot to look up to now, because you're going to get every team's best effort every single night, and they're going to know that you're coming in. They're absolutely going to be looking for you, and in my opinion, I think that makes your job a lot more difficult. You have to be system sound, and to me, this is one of those seasons where you have to really, especially with so many road games early, I think you have to get out very quickly.
Yeah, 8 of the first 10 games are going to be on the road. Utah's got Rapid City at home next Friday and Saturday, and you're going to want to get your tickets because after that, you're talking about almost a month.
Yeah.
Where the Grizzlies are going to be on the road. They'll be in Boise for 2 games, and then they're going to take on Kansas City for 3, and then head to Allen for 3, and return home against Idaho right there, and I think that 3rd week of November. So you're talking about a Grizzly team that we're going to find out early on, especially with that road trip. Are the Grizzlies going to be able to replicate that success that they had last season on the road? That's
a big question, and I think when you look at guys like Ben Tardiff, he's gonna be very important. You look at Phil Jenkinson on YouTube commenting, big fan of Cameron Wright, looking forward to seeing him settle in and help the team be successful. Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, it's going to be. If you're not going to get what you need from Ben Tardiff and your top. What I would say your top 4, top 6 forwards, this is going to be a long season anyway, right? But a guy like Cam Wright has an opportunity to really be a contributor for somebody that played in a fantastic college program, scored a lot of goals. You would expect him to put the puck in the net.
Yeah, I think it might take him a little bit of time to transition into the pro game. But once he does, and once he gets in a role, and I think what's going to help his transition to the pro game is if he's on a line with somebody like Tardiff or Penner. You talk about Dylan Fitz, who's a good passer.
Yes.
Sekos and Pfizer are guys that proved at the college level for Sekos and Pfizer at the junior level with the Victoria Royals. So those guys are playmakers that make everybody on their line better. And I think Cameron Wright's going to benefit from some of those players. He's going to get some open looks. And when he gets that look either on the left side or the right, I think he's going to capitalize on some of those chances.
Yeah, and I think when you look at this, the way that this game was played tonight, I think you're going to see goals are going to go in. It's simply a matter of time, and it's one of those things where this Utah Grizzlies team is wildly talented. You have a lot of those guys returning, but again, the question's going to be how consistent is this D core going to be? Because I think the defensive core is going to be critically important when you look at exactly how you have. This diverse group of defensemen. I think it's going to be really important that Coach Kanasowicz find the guys that he likes. His top 2 pairings are going to get the majority of the ice time. Those top 4 guys have to be really solid back there.
Yeah, when you think about Martin and Nilsson, I think that I think Coach wants to find out a lot about Bryson Martin. It seemed like he had the puck quite a bit in his own zone, and with Tegan Zahn, the former Grizzlies assistant, I know Jared Pike kind of thinks the same way. If you're a defenseman, get that puck and move it up ice. With the Grizzlies' speed, they want to go north-south as much as possible.
Well, you can't dilly-dally is the word I like to use.
Oh, no, I like to use the word that Jerry Sloan used to use, jackpotting around. You can't be jackpotting around in your own zone. And for the Grizzlies, it seemed like when they were at their best, they were heading north-south, and they were getting teams on their heels. Teams were back on their heels, and they had to really respond, and really they kind of had to take a back seat offensively, knowing that we got to make sure that we don't let Utah just roam right past us.
Yeah, and
I saw it when they played teams like Allen and Wichita last year, and even a little bit against Kansas City. The Grizzlies' speed just overwhelmed them a little bit.
Well, I also think when you look at exactly, the depth of talent in this league now. The ECHL, for those of you who don't know, this essentially is 2 levels below the NHL. So the prospects in this league are very good. They're very young. They're very talented. You have to have solid guys on the blue line, which is why I brought that up, because you look at Idaho, I thought your point in the first period was very well taken, and that is that, hey, this is a better hockey club than we saw last year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They're going to win more than, 11 games on the road last year.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see they're going to be far improved from that number this year, and a lot of it's going to be because they're faster, and a lot of it's going to be because they're experienced, and a lot of it's going to be because you're seeing the Dallas Stars are now building prospects through the system. And certainly, the goaltending that we've seen the last 2 nights, as you pointed out, is a big part of that. But you look at this organization for the Utah Grizzlies, the Colorado Avalanche are stacked. You have 3 levels from the Avalanche down to the Eagles, down here to the Utah Grizzlies in the ECHL. You have 3 levels of very young, very fast, very aggressive hockey players. I think this is going to be one of the best years in the history of the ECHL.
And hopefully it will turn into a Kelly Cup. Last year the Grizzlies went farther than they'd gone since 2008 when they last went to the Western Conference Finals, and they faced an experienced Toledo team. you think about it, the Grizzlies had like 17 rookies on the playoff roster. Toledo had one, and he was a scratch for the entire series against Utah. So the experience, especially when you get guys like Penner, second-year pro, you get a first full-year season as a pro for Pfizer, Sekos, Betts. And you think about this handful of guys. Betts, Sekos, and Pfizer in particular. James Shearer, who's not in the lineup tonight, but he was kind of that guy who played in the first round of the playoffs before suffering an injury. The playoff experience they got last season, seeing what it was all about, seeing that run for the Kelly Cup, I think that's valuable and really helps their development going into their first full season as a pro.
Yeah, and I think that word development, I think that's a word that we throw around like it's, it means nothing. It's no big deal. And guess what? It's huge. And I think that's why a guy like Ryan Kanasowicz, having a guy like Jared Pike as his assistant coach, I mean, Tegan's did a great job, but, Tegan had to move on to other things. I think Jared Pike has done a really nice job. I've been at every practice through training camp here this last week. And you look at the job that Jared Pike's done, they're all in lockstep. The vision is the same from, the Eagles up to the Avalanche, down to the Utah Grizzlies. So you're seeing the players are working on the things and the message is being communicated down through the three levels. And that word development is critical to the success of the Utah Grizzlies, because if the Avalanche and the Eagles didn't trust the Grizzlies to send down guys like Ben Tardiff, this would be an awfully difficult road to hoe. But I think it's very clear the Avalanche and the Eagles have a great working relationship with Ryan Kanasowicz and the Utah Grizzlies.
And with Ryan Kanasowicz being in his second year, the great thing with having so many returning players, didn't have to worry about working on systems or much. They could just hit the ground running. And, you see Idaho kind of being a team that's playing with confidence, and with the Grizzlies the same way. It's making quick decisions, and some of that just comes with that continuity.
Yeah.
Guys in their second year as a pro, they know what it's been like. And somebody like Victor Bartley, the impact he's going to have this season in the locker room, on the ice. I mean, we saw it a couple times when he was deep in his own zone. Some guys would be, they couldn't wait to get rid of the puck, just a hot potato type of thing. Bartley patiently surveys the ice, makes the right read. And, a couple times Grizzlies were able to get scoring chances, partly because that outlet pass from Bartley was right on the money.
Yeah, and I think coming into this second period, as we got about 4 minutes to go here in the intermission, Utah trails Idaho 1-0 after one period here in Ogden. I think what you're going to see in this second period, I'd like to see the Grizzlies stiff it in their zone. I'd really like to see their D-men again. Let's get that puck moving much quicker, because you cannot, again, coast. Coasting in this league gets you in trouble. Much more decisiveness. And I think this goes back to that point about the forwards being good defensive players, because you have to have good communication and guys have to do their job. And I would expect the Grizzlies to come out here in the second period and be a lot stiffer in their own zone. And by the way, what did we see last night? The second period was not a good period for the Utah Grizzlies.
It was during the regular season last year, as they had a huge edge in the second period. Speaking of Tims, we got Tim Montemayor, we got Tim Broussard, Grizzlies director of photography. He's taking pictures. He's got a press pass and all that stuff. He was at the NHL preseason game in Boise last Saturday.
Yep.
He's wearing the Grizzlies hat and having a good time, as we'll turn that camera back around to make sure that Flow Sports in the league doesn't get too upset with us here in a few minutes. But we got about 3 minutes to go until we start the second period. We got Kiki here, our intern. Guy will be here next week, Guy Carenza, and we got a good staff here for the upcoming season. I'm really looking forward to some of the stuff, pregame show, postgame show. It's going to be a unique setup, and I think it might take a few games for viewers to really understand what we're trying to do, but I think it's a lot of fun that we got here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network this season.
Yeah, and I think what you'll see is give us a subscription on YouTube. It costs you nothing. It is absolutely free to watch your Utah Grizzlies here on YouTube. And let's show you Utah Grizzlies hockey, because you're also going to see behind the scenes, there's going to be a lot of content that is exclusive. If you were with us in the pregame tonight, you saw Andrew Nilsson mic'd up during practice, which absolutely is something that you're going to see a lot more of. So I think what you'll notice is that there will be a lot more exclusive content on the YouTube channel this year. So if you're watching this right now, please give us a like on the channel. It really helps us grow. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll notify notify you when you're live, because you're going to see, Inside the Grizzlies every Tuesday is a docuseries about what's going on during that week with the Utah Grizzlies. Things like mic'd up, things in the locker room, coach talking to the players, the things that you guys are so, into, and the things that all sports fans want to see, the things you don't normally get to see inside the Grizzlies. We'll give you that chance to see that kind of content. It'll be exclusively right here on the Utah Grizzlies YouTube channel. So find it, just search Google Utah Grizzlies YouTube, hit subscribe, and you'll hear every one of the games right here on YouTube. You'll get that exclusive content. All you have to do is click subscribe and give us a thumbs up right here on YouTube. As we're about ready to go, 1:15 to go in the intermission. The Grizzlies and the Steelheads are back on the ice. And Tyson, again, I think your keys for this period, you really have to be able to, if you're the Utah Grizzlies, be better defensively in your own zone, stiffen, move the puck better. I think those are really important. Very interesting that you're getting Penner and Fitz out there together to start this period. And Connor McDonald's going to be one of the guys on the blue line. This will be 4-on-4. Let's not forget that.
Actually, it looks like they'll be on a power play because we had 4-on-4, and then Becker came off the penalty box there right at the very end of the period.
So that expired. So Idaho will be on the power play, correct?
And you're talking about two great penalty-killing forwards there in Penner and Fitz.
Yes.
Fitz in particular in the postseason last year. And I don't know that the Grizzlies are going to get 20 shorthanded goals quite like they had last season. I think
think so.
I think a lot of that might have been Trey Bradley, a little bit of Brandon Cutler. We did see some other guys. Ben Tardiff, contributed quite a bit to their shorthanded prowess. I don't know that we're going to necessarily see the Grizzlies lead the league in shorthanded goals again, but we'll see what their kind of mode of attack is, because when they get the puck, they don't necessarily just automatically sell it down the other end. They want to be opportunistic if they can.
Well, and that's why when you listen to Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Mountain Land Supply right here on YouTube, everything's systematic. Everybody has a job, and when they do that job, the Utah Grizzlies are awfully difficult to beat.
Tyler Penner will take the face-off against Ty Pelton Bice. Penner sporting the beard as the draw won by Idaho. They're skating from right to left in the second period as Patrick Kudla will get it ahead, neutralize. Kawaguchi left point, gets it poked away by Fitz. Now it rolls to the left corner. Connor McDonald spins it around. Hedrick couldn't keep it in as Hedrick runs all the way down to the Idaho blue line to get it. As Tyler Penner in the corner cuts off the pursuit of Hedrick. Penner tried to center it, and it's picked off by Spanenbergs. Spanenbergs over to Pelton Bice. Now to Kawaguchi, who spent the entire season last year with the Texas Stars. Kawaguchi, number 77, over to Spanenbergs. Back to Kawaguchi. I tried to feed it across to Bice, and it goes wide. Trying to keep it in is Kudla, but Penner runs after it and clears the puck out. Good job by Tyler Penner being in the left point to clear it out.
Excellent penalty kill so far. 15 seconds to go. Grizzlies should be able to kill this one off.
Steelheads still in their own zone. Nick Canati across the center ice. He'll fire it to the right wing. It bounces off the boards. Victor Bartley in the area. As Idaho gets to the corner. Grizzlies back at full strength. Centering pass. Shot saved by Metcalf. Well, pretty good pass from the left corner onto Keller, who was out in front. And Metcalf made a quick save, and he had to react quickly to that one because that was an excellent pass in the corner by Jade Miller.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where you always have to have your head on a swivel. When that power play is coming to an end, it takes 2, 3, 4 seconds to get your fifth guy out there on the ice, and Idaho tried to take advantage there.
Miller taking the face-off for Idaho against Zach Sekos. Sekos crouches down, 5'10", 179 pounds of Sekos. He gets kicked out of the circle. Actually still in there. Jamison went over there. The draw won by Utah. Victor Bartley will get it across. Utah skates from left to right. Kyle Pouncey will get it ahead towards Cameron Wright. Keller cuts him off. It goes to the center ice logo. Idaho gets it. Miller skates in from the left side near the boards. Miller holds on to it, and he'll feed it across off the far wall to Wade Murphy. Murphy up top to Canati. He winds and fires, and it glances off the right stick. And Wright did a good job taking away his time and space. Utah gets it over towards Wright. Canati in the area. Now the Grizzlies dumping in from just outside the blue line as it rolls towards the right corner. Jade Miller gets double teamed in the corner. Jamison trying to hack away for the puck as Miller kept it. He gets it to Keller. He gets knocked down by Sekos. Idaho across the center ice. Miller to Canati. He skates down the middle, veers off to the right circle. Backhand shot. Saved by Metcalf. Boy, another outstanding play by Nick Canati. And if I'm an AHL team and I'm viewing this game, give that guy a look because 22 years old, played in Finland the last couple of years, 5'9", 161 pounds, but he is dynamite with the puck.
I mean, I'm sure we could get you his hockey card if you want. Maybe we can get you an autograph too.
No autographs allowed. That's a league rule. That's a broadcasting rule. It gets you kicked out immediately.
Oh, I love it.
Draw's going to be in the right circle. Steelheads lead 1-0 early on in the second period. Idaho wins the offensive zone draw. Zach Walker will feed it off the end wall to Jack Becker. Connor McDonald took it away from Becker. McDonald skates along the far side. He'll get it ahead to Kyle Betts. And now it's Ben Tardiff. Tardiff crosses center ice, gets around a couple Steelheads, gains a line. As Tardiff over outside the left circle, gets double teamed. He'll feed it off the wall for Betts. Betts in the corner, being shadowed by Corey Thomas. Betts will feed it over to the right corner. Arm is raised by the official. Idaho touches up the puck, and the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play. Hooking's going to be the call, and the Grizzlies are going to be back on the power play for the second time tonight.
Huge hook right there in the corner. And again, I don't mean to be redundant, but you point out Kyle Betts one more time. There he is grinding away in the corner, doing a really good job. And if you look at the way that these guys who are competing for jobs, and certainly Betts is a guy who I think is firmly on this hockey club, but he's a guy that's doing everything that he can do to earn his shifts on this team. I love the way he's played these first two games.
Willie Nerum gets 2 minutes for hooking. He's in the penalty box. 17:39 left in the second period. Betts will take the face off. Pfizer in the area. Idaho wins the draw. Pelton Bice will clear it out to center ice. Nilsson will nudge it ahead to Tardiff. Tardiff near the Grizzlies bench. Now I'll back it out towards the Grizzlies blue line. Now I'll start the attack. He crosses center ice. Dumps it in as Poirier plays it out of his net. He'll toss it off the near wall. Nilsson gets it about center ice. He'll feed it off the left wing boards. Kyle Betts to the corner. He gets pushed by Darren Brady. Puck rolls towards the right side. Takes a strange bounce on Nilsson. Pfizer gets it right side. He'll get it across to Tardiff, but the pass was too high for him to handle as it was about chest high. So he'll regather it. Skate back deep in his own zone. Skates around Metcalf's net. Idaho makes a line change 40 seconds into the power play. Tardiff along the left wing. Steps over the offensive line. Centers it. Idaho picks it off. Steelheads get it out to center ice. As Colton Keller. Keller skates towards the right side. Take a shot and it glanced off of Nilsson's stick. Keller tries to make a move on Nilsson. I tried to feed Becker. Great interception by Tardiff. Tardiff crosses center ice right wing. He'll step over the blue line. He'll feed it up top for Sekos. Sekos to Bartley. Bartley gathers it in the left point as he gets around a skater. He's now in the circle. Stops in the corner. So get it behind the net as it rolls past Fitz. On to Pfizer. Fitz gets it as he'll toss it back to the left point off the boards for Bartley. Bartley skates towards the corner, gets it to Fitz at the goal line. Fitz around the net as Hedrick takes it away from him. Hedrick skates towards the corner. Fitz delivers a big hit. Idaho gets it and bounces it off the near glass and clears it out.
Boy, that's good physical play by Idaho there, but a nice sustained possession. And again, Taryn Pfizer, Johnny on the spot, but you got to love Vic Bartley, quarterback in the power play.
20 seconds left in the power play. Bartley has passed ahead off of Sekos. And it's going to be icing as it goes all the way deep into the Steelhead zone. And a good job by Corey Thomas to win the foot race there as the draw is going to come over towards Garrett Metcalf with 16 seconds left in the man advantage.
But that's one of those things, again, where if you're going to play that deflection, you've got to be on or past the red line. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially with the man advantage. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to make that play. And now you're down here in your own zone instead of down in their zone.
Jamison will take the face-off against Jade Miller. Miller's looked impressive for Idaho this weekend. Miller wins the Utah wins the draw. Good job by Keaton Jamison. Bartley around the net. Now he'll start the attack. He'll feed a right wing pass to Cameron Wright. Wright gets it across as Andrew Nilsson. Will make that Bryson Martin. Martin 14. I look to center, but the pass is wide and goes all the way out towards Garrett Metcalf. Nearham's out of the box. Metcalf out of his net. He'll toss it to Bartley, who's in the left corner. Bartley has a bounce off his stick as Zach Wright in the offensive corner for Idaho. As the Steelheads over on the left side of the ice here at the Weber County ice sheet. 15:23 and counting left in the second as the Steelheads along the end wall. Bartley with a good defensive play on Nearham. As now right side shot saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies gather it as Utah crosses center ice. Cameron Wright 2-on-4 dumps it in. Playing it to the left of his net is Poirier. He flips it out of the seats. Is it going to be delay of game? It is. Grizzlies going to get another power play. As the Grizzlies were skating towards Poirier, he tried to lift it, and it was kind of a bad angle for him to try to lift it over. And a fan gets a souvenir. And the problem is when you do that in your own zone, you're going to be shorthanded.
But the thing is, again, it's that little thing that Cam Wright did there. Get that puck get it deep, get over the red line, get that puck in deep, and give yourself an opportunity to compete. If he doesn't make that little play there, you don't wind up getting this penalty for delay a game. I think it's absolutely critical that the Utah Grizzlies do those little things to win games, win situations that win you games.
And Wright skating over there to challenge the Poirier pass. Probably contributed to being the merit one.
Absolutely it did.
Idaho wins the faceoff and clears it now as the Grizzlies skate from left to right. Andrew Nilsson. Spangenberg's chasing after him. Gets to Tardiff. Tardiff back to Pfizer, who's deep in his own zone behind Metcalf. Pfizer now skating more south. Nilsson almost ran into him. Pfizer to the right side. He gets hacked. No call. Pfizer crosses the center and dumps it in. Spangenberg has played a good game for Idaho on both sides. Tardiff on the left side. Gets it up top for Nilsson. Nilsson to the left circle for Betts. Betts off the backboards. They'll skate in. Shot saved by Poirier. And the puck ends up getting cleared out of the zone. Metcalf 10 feet in front of his crease. We'll get it to Tardiff. 1:18 left in the Grizzlies power play. Idaho still leads 1-0. Tardiff left side gets around Keller. Whips it around the boards. Fits in the area. Collides with Jack Becker. Now up top to Pfizer right side. He feeds it across to Nilsson. Andrew Nilsson, 6'4", 230. Across to Pfizer. Pfizer up top for Tardiff. He'll get it back over to Pfizer. Pfizer with a shot. Kick saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to Nilsson on the left side near the boards. Now to Secco's shot, and it gets blocked by Kudla. Over to the right corner. Fitz throws it up top for Pfizer, right side. Pfizer wearing number 8 as he's being challenged. Pfizer over to Nilsson, left side, winds and fires. Got redirected and goes high off the crossbar. Stays in play. Over the crossbar. And Secco's right side trying to feed it across. Now to Nilsson. Pfizer up top, high slot. Pfizer to Vic Bartley, who fakes a shot, gets Tardiff on the right side. Tardiff dances around just outside the circle, challenged by Keller. Up top to Bartley, now to the Pfizer, left side shot, and that one goes wide on a one-timer. As we got 15 seconds left in the power play, Tardiff gets it poked away by Keller, who clears it out.
Excellent sustained pressure. This is by far the best offense that we've seen out of the Grizzlies. And look at the names who are on the ice when that's going on.
Face-off one, or Grizzlies reset. As coming out of the penalty box right now is Jordan Kawaguchi, as he was representing the goaltender in the box. As puck rolls towards Poirier, who covers up as the Grizzlies were looking for a centering pass, but just got too close to the goaltender. 13:04 is left here in the second period. Idaho leads 1-0.
Well, and a lot of this last 7 minutes to start this period was spent killing penalties for Idaho. Really nice job by Cam Strong. Never a bad idea to get yourself in the slot, especially that low slot, because that puck almost came in. I mean, Poirier did a really nice job, Tyson, of being in the right place to cover that far post. And it likely saved a goal there.
One thing the Grizzlies are probably working on, Dasty was that finisher on the power play last year. Who's that finisher going to be this season? That's something that the preseason is good to work on, some of those things. Idaho wins the draw. They've done a great job at the face-off circle tonight. Steelheads skate into the right side. Shot saved by Metcalf, and it deflects out of play as Zach Walker had a good look from the right side, walking into the circle. Fired away, and Metcalf with a nice stick save. And you talk about two guys for the Steelheads. I mentioned it yesterday, Walker and Keller. Those guys have made their impact at just about every shift for the Steelheads. It was that way last season against Utah, and it looks like it's that case once again this season as it draws in the right side of the Grizzlies zone. 12:55 left in the second. Steelheads still lead 1-0 as Jordan Tennant scored 7:01 in to the first period. Idaho, and Kawaguchi, right side, gets poked away by Pouncey. Now Kawaguchi throws it towards the near corner. Steelheads in the left point. Haskinen then gets pushed out towards the blue line. Now to center ice. Cameron Wright gets hit by Miller. Jamison takes it from the right side. He'll step over the offensive blue line, dump it in. Idaho trying to box out Cam Strong. And Jamison gets it taken away by Walker. Over in the corner, Cam Strong gets held up by Corey Thomas. Thomas, a big guy at 6'5", 215. Now the Steelheads get it. They cross center ice. Idaho skates into the right side. Connor McDonald does a great job taking the puck away. He boxed Idaho out. He plays the angle so well. Puck at center ice. Now Idaho veers back into their own zone. Steelheads get it over to center ice. Now Kanadi and Spangenberg. Spangenberg's right side. Over to Murphy. Shot. On it goes high and hits off the netting. So a whistle blows with 12:01 left in the second.
Continuing to have a brisk pace here on the game 2 of the Utah Grizzlies preseason. If you're tuning in on YouTube, again, we are giving you the play-by-play here on YouTube. Flow Sports is the exclusive video provider of the ECHL, so that's why you see our beautiful faces.
But not tonight. No Flow Sports broadcast tonight, but regular season, every postseason game, Flow Sports across the league. As the draw looks like Joey Strada was trying to skate out of the zone, and he draws a penalty. Pulitarchi dumps it in from center ice. Penner on the right side. Tries to feed it out in front. Murphy picked it off as the whistle blows. Joey Strada had the puck after Utah won the faceoff, tried to skate out of his own zone, and he got hit. And it's going to be a penalty on Idaho. Let's see if we can get the signal from the referee.
I got to think that this is going to be cross-checking or roughing.
Looks like a cross-check.
Yeah, Joey Strada is a guy that is very – he's a 5'4". I mean, he's 5'4", playing professional hockey, which is a story unto itself. But he is very fast, and he's very difficult to defend. If you are slow of foot at the blue line, which I think you saw there, that's exactly what happened. Strada was going to go by, so he stuck the stick out with two hands. That's a cross-check. 2 minutes, and the Utah Grizzlies are back on the power play.
And you would think with that speed that you can be able to draw some of those penalties with teams trying to keep up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a really nice job there. I mean, you got to give him credit because that's really the difference that he has, the superpower, if you will. When you're 5'4", you better be fast or your career is going to be short.
That's Wade Murphy in the penalty box for Idaho, which is right below us, as we got a great seat tonight. Draw won by Utah. Sekos won that faceoff as Bryson Martin, no relation to Luke, who was with the Grizzlies last year. Utah tries to feed it across to Bartley. Idaho picks it off. Steelheads get to their blue line and sell it 3/4 of the length of the ice. Martin gets over to Vic Bartley, and Idaho pokes it away. Pelton Bice, he'll get it to Spanenbergs. Spanenbergs over to the right side. Shot, save. The arm is raised, and it looks like Utah's going to get a penalty as the Steelheads found Darren Brady on the right side. Brady had a good look in the Grizzlies. I believe that's a hook. That's going to send Zach Sekos to the penalty box.
Yeah, a hook or a slash, one of the two. And absolutely a hook as Zach Sekos is going to sit. So that'll nullify the Utah Grizzlies power play.
4-on-4 for 1:39, and then after that, Steelheads will have a 21-second power play.
And I think the Grizzlies are still looking for that, to smooth out possession, to really control the flow of the game. And they've not been able to do that the last two nights for long stretches. It's going to be important that they establish that before this night's over.
4-on-4 will spread the ice. It's an Olympic-sized sheet of ice, so who knows? Maybe we'll get a goal here as Kawaguchi will take the shot after Idaho won the faceoff. That gets blocked. Pfizer crosses center ice. Pfizer to the left side, skates towards the corner as he's being shadowed by Steve. Pfizer goes down with Steve in the area. Idaho takes control of the puck. Nick Canati, 22 years old. They'll feed it to the right side. Kawaguchi gains the line, gets around Nilsson as Canati gets it. Canati might be Idaho's best defenseman this year as he skates towards the left side over to Steve. Steve with the lefty shot. Bonner got redirected and a score. That might have hit a stick on the way as Pelton Bice and Kawaguchi were in the area. Looks like Pelton Bice is going to skate to the bench first. And he played for Newfoundland last year, and he's made it a 2-0 game.
Yeah, hit right down the middle of the shaft of his stick between the legs of Garrett Metcalf. It's 2-0. The Idaho Steelheads now lead the Utah Grizzlies with 10:59 to go here in the middle frame. And again, another goal given up in the second period. Last night was a tough period here in the second. Boy, and you just don't like seeing that because 2-0 is a much steeper hill to climb here.
Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone. Still 4-on-4 action for a minute as the ice spreads out, and maybe Utah can get on the board here as Martin is being shadowed by Jack Becker. As Martin nudges it ahead to Vic Bartley. Bartley still in the Grizzlies zone. Now throw it to the center ice logo for Betts. Betts tries to feed the right side for Wright. Puck enters the Steelhead zone. Idaho has it bounce off the Keller stick. Now Keller regathers it as Wright's coming after him. Keller gets around Wright. He'll feed it to the left wing for Kudla. Wearing number 47, Kudla will skate towards the left circle. Here to the corner. He'll bounce it off the backboards. Nilsson gets it. Nilsson, for a 6'4" guy, moves pretty well. He spent 6 years in the AHL. He nudges it ahead to Betts. Betts crosses center ice 1-on-3. He gains the line, stops long goal up right wing boards. Betts will bounce it off the boards for Nilsson. Nilsson to the right circle, skates outside of it. Now towards the slot. Nilsson with a shot that's blocked by Becker. Betts gets it. He'll feed it to Nilsson, who's now on the left side. Nilsson trying to get it across to Stone. It bounces off to him. Penner will throw it to the right corner. Nilsson surveys around him. Idaho's out of the box with Wade Murphy as it goes to the left side. Fitz with a shot, saved by Poirier. And has 15 seconds left in a Steelheads power play as the puck goes over in the Steelheads corner on the left side. As Becker has the puck, he's got really good size. He feeds it across. Kudla couldn't get a pass off as the puck stayed to his stick. Now out of the penalty box to Sekos, and they return to 5-on-5 skating.
Excellent forecheck there by the Utah Grizzlies. Dylan Fitz showing that experience right there on that shift.
Jade Miller crosses center ice and dumps it in. McDonald surveys around him as he gets it over behind Utah's net. Jordan Stone will clear it back towards the right wing boards. Idaho keeps it in their offensive zone. Steelheads fire a lefty shot on that one, goes just wide. That was taken by Miller. As Kuatarchi fires a high one, just missed McDonald's face. Now it's in the Steelhead zone, over towards Camstrom, but Idaho gets there first. Steelheads look like they have pretty good size. Right side, Kuatarchi with a shot that goes wide, and it goes out to center ice. Utah peels back to center ice. Jamison, left wing, will feed a pass. Grizzlies enter. Kuatarchi over to the left side. Shot saved by Poirier. That was taken by Cam Strong, number 26. Idaho gets control of the puck behind their net. Steve over in the right corner. A big hit delivered by Jamison. Jamison looks like he's stronger than he was last year. Jamison has the puck as he stops along the backboard. Steve tries to take it away. And now it goes up top for Bartley, but it glanced off his stick and goes out towards the Utah line as Bartley runs and gets it. So get it to Nilsson. That pass is wide of the mark. Steelheads throw it to the near corner as they're in the offensive zone. Spandenbergs will bounce it off the end wall as he spins it around. Kawaguchi tries to get it back towards Timmons. Timmons scored a goal in the first period. Now Utah gets it to the far side. Utah spins it back towards Bartley, who throws it to center ice. Nick Canati has it, and he'll feed it to the Grizzlies line. Idaho steps over it. Kawaguchi over to Tyson Pelton-Dice. He'll feed it across. Now Heiskanen will get it to the corner. Nilsson gathers it, throws it to Betts. Betts across to Pfizer on the right side. Pfizer skates towards his left. Now he crosses center, skates down the middle, enters the line, gets over to Tardiff. He tries to feed Betts out in front. Pelton-Dice gets after it. Now Tardiff with a shot. That goes wide. Pfizer on the right side gets it back to Tardiff. It goes past him, rolls to the left corner. Betts up top for McDonald. Connor with a shot. Oh, they got redirected, but it goes wide. I think the goaltender got a piece of it. Poirier. Martin across to McDonald. He's in the left point. He gets pushed by Walker, and the puck goes out of the zone. Now at center ice. Good poke check by Martin, but it's Idaho that gets it as Kawaguchi will dump it in. Kawaguchi's got an AHL deal with Texas. As it goes towards the left corner, Utah starts the attack from left to right. Pfizer gets cut off by Becker. Oh, Becker's played a good two-way game for Idaho.
Sure has.
Get it to Darren Brady. Ahead to Zach Walker. We've had some great action here in the preseason. This doesn't feel like a preseason game. It feels like midseason. Walker crosses center ice and dumps it in. Walker gets cut off by Martin. He plays the angle well. They'll feed it to the far side. Now across. Tardiff with room. He's on the right side. He gets the puck. Tardiff stops on the right side. He'll skate towards the slot. Drops out for Stone. Stone with a shot. Saved by Poirier.
Poirier never saw it. Hit him right on the right shoulder. Man, really fast action through the middle of the ice there. But with 6:32 to go in the second period, the Idaho Steelheads lead your Utah Grizzlies 2-0 on the Utah Grizzlies Broadcasting Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
In the Steelheads goal, Ty Pelton-Dice scored 9:01 in. Nick Canati and Matt Steve picked up the assist. Idaho scored 7:01 into the first period. Jordan Timmons got Idaho on the board there as we had a pretty good game. Idaho leads 2-0, 6:32 left in the second period as Ryan Kanaswich talking with his team now. I got to say, you talk about the Grizzlies that have made improvements from one year to the other. We saw a good look by Jordan Stone. I don't know that Stone gets to that spot last year. You talk about guys making an improvement.
Yeah, I would agree.
Jordan Stone, Kyle Pouncey, those are two guys that are battling for playoff time, and it's going to be tough with the defensive depth that the Grizzlies have. But I've been really impressed with what I've seen from Stone and Pouncey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a guy, you look at Stone, Pouncey, Nielsen, Strata certainly is a guy. All these guys are competing tonight. Victor Bartley is a guy that is, he's on a tryout here. There's a lot of guys competing for ice time and shifts. This is a huge period and a half we have left here for some of these guys.
According to the ECHL app, the Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 18-13 here so far as the draw won by Idaho out to center ice. As Timmons gets around Bartley, left side, shot on Nilsson, got a stick in the way. Good job by Andrew Nilsson being in the right place at the right time as it goes out of play. 6:23 left in the second.
And I think one of the things we've talked a lot about here in the preseason, if you've watched our training camp reports here on our YouTube channel, one of the things you've seen is Ryan Kanasowicz wants pace. He wants these guys to play smart with continuity. And I think you're starting to see some of that, really across all the different lines here for the Grizzlies.
Jamison takes the face-off against Miller. Utah wins the draw. Grizzlies escape from left to right. Cameron right wing crosses center ice. He'll throw it towards Jamison, but the pass, the Grizzlies were offside as he tried to throw it towards his left, and the timing was messed up a little bit. Good job by the Steelheads protecting the blue line.
Got to throw that puck in. I know I keep saying that, and I don't mean to be redundant, but you got to get those pucks in the zone. I mean, this is going to be a face-off in the neutral zone here in the near side dot right in front of us, but you got to get that puck into the zone. Every time that happens, you're losing multiple opportunities to score goals.
Penner will take the face-off for Utah. I wish I knew the percentage exactly, but he won about 60% of the draws for Utah last season. This time, Penner got it to Fitz, but Fitz had to bounce off his stick onto Idaho. It's at center ice now near the Steelheads bench. Wade Murphy gets double teamed near Everett Sheen, the Steelheads head coach in his third season. Murphy gets held up by a couple Grizzlies. Now Idaho. Timmons comes out of it and dumps it in. Metcalf out of his net will give it to Connor McDonald. Connor back to the far side. Nilsson now towards Strong. He gets knocked down. Puck. Idaho throws to McDonald, who's in the Grizzly zone. He feeds it out to center ice. Puck bounced off of Penner's stick. Penner runs after it. They'll drop it off in the right point. Big hit at the blue line as Grizzlies enter right side. They tried to center. Idaho denies that again. Fitz hacking away, and Poirier's made the save. And after the whistle, Fitz finds a dance partner. But it doesn't look like anything's going to come of it except for a few looks.
Darren Brady in there for Idaho. It's interesting when you look at...
Looks like the officials told them to cease and desist, and they said, all right, we'll do so. We don't want to be shorthanded.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the situation here for the Utah Grizzlies, I mean, you've got to find a way to get this puck on the net. Even if you're just passing it off of the goaltender's pads, that's going to be a very good result for you because you have guys like, Pfizer and Tardiff going to the net. You have offensive, guys that are very capable, especially when Betts is out there as well. You have a lot of bodies in front of the net. You got to get the puck home.
Betts will take the face-off for Utah against Ty Pelton-Bice. Bice scored Idaho's second period goals. They lead 2-0 and goes out to center ice after Idaho won the draw. Utah back in their own zone. Nielsen defeated to center ice. It glanced off a Betts stick and rolls towards Poirier. Poirier will play it behind his net. He'll spin it over to Svanenbergs. And Svanenbergs will bounce it off the near boards. Kawaguchi gains the line, but looks like he tripped over the line as he falls down, gets back up. Kawaguchi over to Thomas. Thomas keeps the puck in. He's on the left side. He'll take a shot saved by Metcalf as Tardiff over in the corner surveys. Now he skates around Metcalf's net. Tardiff keeps his head up, throws to Nilsson. Andrew, left wing, crosses center ice. Steelheads got back defensively, so he'll just dump it in as it bounced off the boards. Steelheads get it with Corey Thomas. He got his he almost got his pickpocketed or whatever that is. As Grizzlies on the right side, Pfizer. He'll fire a low liner. Got redirected. Betts gets a rebound. He shoots. He scores!
Exactly what we were talking about. Get that puck to the front of the net. Because you're going to have your Utah Grizzlies are going to be in front of the net there. Exactly what happened. It hit the pads, bounced up, and Kyle Betts was on the spot. Banged it home. That is a huge answer, and it's not surprising which line put that puck in the net with Tardiff and Pfizer and Betts. I think Kyle Betts is having himself a heck of a night again, 2 nights in a row. But it all starts with Nielsen getting that puck in deep, and then that puck finds its way to the pads of the goaltender. It's 2-1 now, Idaho over Utah.
Betts will get the goal. We know Pfizer will get an assist. We'll see who gets the second assist. Good job by that top forward line for the Grizzlies. As Penner will take the face-off at center ice against Jack Becker. Utah wins the draw as Kyle Pouncey will back it out to Jordan Stone. Stone ahead to Penner as it bounced off his stick. Penner gets around Walker in the corner. As Walker and Colatarchi drags down Walker. Walker wants to get after Colatarchi. He was in the area. I think Strada was as well. It's going to be a penalty on Utah. Walker's in the area.
I think it's Zach Walker.
Walker's yelling as he's going to the box. Strada was in the area. That might be the second penalty tonight that Strada is drawn. Cross check. Strada's going to get a trip as well, so it's a penalty on each side.
Offsetting.
Yep, Strada gets a trip, and my short-term memory loss, of course, as Zach
Zach
Walker. Walker gets the cross-check.
And I think you're exactly right. I think that's Joey Strada's game. I mean, again, remember, this is a guy that's 5'4", and he is very difficult to deal with when he is moving, as he was in the corner there. So we'll see an offensive zone face-off here for the Grizzlies. Let's see what they can do with 4:24 to go in the second.
Looks like they'll skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Draw one by Idaho as it goes to the corner. Heiskanen has the puck. He'll get over to Ty Pumpen-Bice. He played with Newfoundland last year and a little bit in the AHL with Manitoba. Nielsen will skate back to his own zone. Remember, it's an Olympic-sized sheet ice, so it's a little bit more room for guys like Tardiff to do their thing. As Idaho will play the slowdown game. Kawaguchi will feed it back to Kanadi. Back to Kawaguchi, wearing number 77. He gets around Sekos. Kawaguchi gains the line. Throws it to Bice. It's like a shot saved by Metcalf. Puck ends up along the near wall. Kanadi will feed it to Bice. Bice towards the goal line. Kawaguchi has to deflect off Bartley's stick into the corner. Bice throws it up top for Kanadi. Kanadi glanced off the Idaho stick of Heiskanen. Grizzlies will throw it towards their offensive blue line. Kanadi picks it off. Nick Kanadi gets around a skater. Now he enters the zone. Feeds it to the left side for Murphy. Murphy skates towards his right. He'll take a shot. Gets blocked by McDonald and goes out of play.
Oh, boy, that could easily have been too many men on the ice for the Utah Grizzlies. At 5 guys in a 4-on-4 situation.
Looks like on the Grizzlies goal, Kyle Betts scored 15-21 in. Pfizer and Jordan Stone get the assist.
Well, there you go. Jordan Stone.
Stone had 1 assist last season. It came in the regular season finale. In fact, I think it came in the third period of the regular season finale. That was the only point he had in 18 games. Idaho wins the draw. They'll feed it over to the corner as they're in the Grizzlies zone. Utah will throw it to Taryn Pfizer. Grizzlies want a little bit of puck control as Ben Tardiff crosses center ice, right wing. Tardiff will stop just outside the corner. Now Tardiff will skate towards his left up top. Tardiff near the blue line as he stops in the left point. As Tardiff gets around Hedrick. Now Tardiff towards the far corner. He'll drop it off. Now the Grizzlies skate back up top. Nilsson, make that Martin. Martin's about as big as Nilsson, although Nilsson's got a little bit of a size advantage. Martin loses the puck, and Idaho will play the slow down game of their own. It almost looks like they're playing overtime with both teams wanting to control the puck, especially with this 4-on-4 situation. Pass to Becker on the left side. He'll skate towards his right at neutral ice. He'll drop it off for Murphy. Murphy with a shot. That one goes high off the glass, stays in play. Hedrick gets pushed along the boards. Hedrick with the puck. He'll skate towards his right. He gets double teamed. Feeds to the right side. Kudla with a shot, and it goes wide. Now towards Spendenberg. He'll take a shot. Big save by Metcalf. As both teams are back to 5-on-5. Estrada is out of the penalty box, and so is Walker. Both guys join the play. Pfizer, right side. He'll bounce it off the glass. And playing it behind his net will be Remy Poirier. 2:05 left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-1. Betts over towards Jamison. One-timer goes wide. Pouncey along the near wall. He gets hit pretty hard. Keeps his feet. Over towards Jamison. He'll bounce it off the end wall. Now Strada just behind the net. He tries to feed it across. Spanenberg takes it away. Spanenberg throws it towards the center ice logo. Pouncey gets it. He'll get it to the right side for Penner. Neutralized. Penner will bounce it off to Kudla. Now feed it to the center ice logo again for Pouncey. Kyle skates towards his right, tries to hit Penner. That pass is picked off. Kudla along the wall, tried to get the puck, but Stone was looking for a check, and Kudla decided to get out of the way and get off the ice. Grizzlies, left side cross center. Utah doesn't have numbers as Idaho got back defensively. As the Steelheads look like they're playing an assignment sound game here, as Everett Sheen's done a good job with this team. Right side, McDonald with the shot that didn't get anywhere. It sports towards the right point. Taking it away is Idaho. As Kawaguchi, who's got good speed, right side. Grizzlies got back defensively. Kawaguchi steps over the blue line. Puck exits to neutral ice as Heiskanen. 1 minute left in the second period, loses the puck. Martin back to McDonald in his own zone. It rolls towards Metcalf, who feeds it back to McDonald. Now Martin gets it. As Martin gets it out towards the Utah blue offensive blue line, hits off a Penner stick. Penner dumps it in. Poirier tried to spin it along the boards to the near side, and it hit off the protective netting and goes out of play.
Well, with 47 seconds to go here in the middle period, Idaho up 2-1 on the Utah Grizzlies, but much better sustained pressure. Still a lot of sloppy play in the neutral zone. And I think that's something that Utah Grizzlies head coach Ryan Kanaswich loses hair over. He absolutely it drives him crazy when they are messy in the neutral zone.
Draw on the right circle, won by Idaho as Corey Thomas in the area. As Timmons will feed it out to center ice. Nielsen runs towards the Steelheads bench. He gets the puck in his own zone. Feeds over to Victor Bartley. 35 seconds and counting left in the second. Bartley throws to center ice. Grizzlies get it. As Tardiff, he'll skate in right side. Shot saved by Poirier. And the Grizzlies feed it over to the right corner. Idaho will lift it out towards center ice. Big hit delivered by Tardiff. As the Grizzlies get it, Bartley feed it across to Nielsen. Andrew at the Utah blue line. He'll throw a blue line to blue line pass to right. That connects. Right over to Secco. So I tried to find Tardiff out in front, and the pass just missed the mark. Bartley over to Nielsen. He winds up, fires. That one goes wide. Left side Grizzlies with a shot. Poirier makes the save.
A diving stab with the glove by Poirier to get back to the near post on a huge rebound off the stick of Andrew Nielsen. And, man, you really can see the quality on the stick of Benjamin Tardiff. He is absolutely a stud. And, you know, the polish, the thing you see there is the polish of a guy like Victor Bartley. Absolutely putting the puck in the right place so that Ben Tardiff can come out of the zone with momentum. That was beautiful.
The decision-making of Victor Bartley, you can tell why he's been a guy that's played at the highest level. The game slows down for him. Even against a fast team like Idaho. Off the draw, Idaho goes down. They've won the face-off. Now they'll do it for the second period. Both teams scored one goal in the second as the Steelheads lead 2-1. You talk about being a preseason game. Both teams kind of look like they're very sharp and very much ready for the regular season. Idaho, very assignment sound. I think for the Grizzlies, I think it's good to face a team like Idaho in the preseason because you get to the regular season, you've got some game experience. You know, once you face Rapid City, who I think is going to be a good team once again this year, you've got some good game experience here the last two nights against a pretty tough Idaho team.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very interesting when you look at the way that this game is playing right now. And after two periods, Idaho leads 2-1. That was a huge, huge answer for the Utah Grizzlies to get that goal the way they got that goal. That is a huge, huge win for the Idaho Grizzlies when you consider that Kyle Betts is in front of the net there playing the style of hockey that they want to be playing there, Tyson. I think that is absolutely huge. And, you know, as we've talked about for two nights, you have got to find a way to get pucks to the net. We'll come back with the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report as the Idaho Steelheads lead the Utah Grizzlies 2-1 after 2 on the Utah Grizzlies Broadcasting Network.
Second intermission. Idaho leads 2-1. We'll get to the stats of the second period shortly. A couple college football scores of note. 8:21 left in the third quarter. USC leads Utah 35-28. USC is ranked 7th in the country with a 6-0 record. Utah is ranked 20th with a record of 4-2. BYU lost to Arkansas 52-35. Arkansas goes to 4-3 on the season. BYU is also 4-3, and I kind of had a thought that Arkansas, with their strong running game and a good quarterback in KJ Jefferson, who's back from an injury, I'm really not surprised. In fact, I was surprised that BYU was a 1-point favorite going into that game.
Well, you know, I think you see the way that the BYU Cougars have played this season. They're just underachieving. It feels like they are underachieving. And certainly this is going to be a tough loss to take because now you've lost 2 in a row. You've lost all 3 of your, marquee matchups, and it starts with Oregon on the road, then Notre Dame in Las Vegas, and now, of course, Arkansas at LaVell Edwards Stadium in a big, big game on national TV on ESPN in a primetime afternoon slot. You can't tell me Kalani Sitake is going to be happy about that.
And I imagine you're going to talk about it on the Monty Show on Monday with Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. Just search YouTube, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show, or you can find us on Twitter, the same handle there, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show.
Let's recap the first 2 periods of play. Idaho got on the board first, 7:01 into the first, as Jordan Timmons scored with Zach Walker and Patrick Cutler getting the assist. Timmons was just out in front, and it was a nice centering pass, and all Timmons had to do was deposit it past Garrett Metcalf, and he did. Idaho led 1-0 after 1. The Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 13-7. Ty Pelton-Bice, who played with Newfoundland last season in the ECHL and Manitoba in the AHL. He's 6'2", 194 pounds, and he's looked good in the preseason. He made it 2-0. Nick Canati and Matt Steef with the assists, and yeah, I might just go get Nick Canati's autograph after this game. He has been
You're a huge fan.
He's been unbelievable for Idaho. He's all over the place. He's got amazing speed. His decision-making is super quick, and I think Idaho fans are going to really like him. He might be their best defenseman this year outside of maybe Matt Register, who's got a ton of experience in this league. Who knows, Matt Register might even be a future Hall of Famer. Idaho led 2-0 after the Pelton-Bice score, 9:01 into the second. Utah got on the board. Kyle Betts got a rebound out in front on a Taryn Pfizer shot. Pfizer was from the right point, and then Betts did a good job as looked like Poirier bobbled it for a second, and Betts was able to put it away. 15:21 was the time of goal. Pfizer and Jordan Stone picked up the assist. And I got to say, I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen from Stone, who's a +1 tonight. Kyle Pouncey also a +1 for the Grizzlies, and that made it a 2-1 game, and that's where we stand now. Idaho is 0 for 3 on the power play. Utah is 0 for 4 on the man advantage. And when you think about the penalty killing forwards we'll probably see this season, I know it's probably similar to what we saw last year, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dylan Fitz, Tyler Penner, neither of those guys played last night. They're in there tonight, and you talk about guys that just do a great job defensively, being in the right place at the right time. I know McDonald's a pretty good defenseman in terms of being a penalty kill guy, and that's what made last year a little bit surprising to see the penalty kill numbers near the bottom of the league, because really for the most part, outside of a couple bad games here and there, penalty kill actually was pretty solid last season, and actually was solid for the first couple rounds of the playoffs, and I think that's something that stood out to me through the first two periods, is the Grizzlies really playing good assignment sound hockey on the penalty kill.
Yeah, and I think that the special teams are going to be very good for the Utah Grizzlies because you have so much talent up front, and they are designed to be good at killing penalties and really on the power play as well. And especially on an Olympic-sized sheet like this one here in Ogden at the Weber County Ice Sheet, it's just bigger. It's a much more difficult game for the goaltenders on Olympic-sized ice because the angles are completely different. It's a much more difficult game for the bigger guys that are not as fast as those small, quick forwards. So it's a different style of game, and you don't see this size ice sheet in the ECHL very often.
Idaho's taken 22 shots. Utah was 17. Shots have been distributed rather evenly. Dylan Fitz leads the way with 3 shots. Cameron Wright, Cam Strong, and Kyle Betts with 2 shots. One of Betts' 2 found the back of the net. Then a handful of Grizzlies with 1 shot on goal. Jordan Stone had a really good look in the second period. Because I think if I remember right, it was Tardiff. I don't remember who the guy that threw the pass to Stone, but dropped it off for Stone on the right side, and he had a pretty good look, and that was one that kind of handcuffed Poirier a little bit.
Hit him right in that right shoulder.
And so that was a pretty good look by Stone. Maybe the best shot the best look that he's had as a professional. I was really impressed with that. For Idaho, their shots have been distributed rather evenly. Jordan Kawaguchi leads the way with 4 shots. Ty Pelton-Bice with 3. One of Pelton-Bice's 3 shots found the back of the net. Nick Canati, Jordan Timmons, Keller, and Corey Thomas, as well as Cody Haskinen. Each of those guys have 2 shots for the Steelheads. And you think about 2 weeks from now, the Grizzlies, or maybe 13 days from now, Utah will be in Boise to start a 2-game series with the Steelheads. And you talk about maybe the top 2 teams in the division. I think it'll be interesting to see next week. And we'll get an early glimpse of the Rapid City Rush, who finished in 2nd place in the Mountain Division. Part of that was because of Lucas Parikh, who's now with the Grizzlies. They might end up seeing a little bit more of Adam Carlson, who missed last season with an injury. He might be in net for Rapid City, but I think it'll be interesting to see. And I think the question among the entire Mountain Division is, what is Rapid City? Are they the team that last season finished 2nd place and gave the Grizzlies a pretty good second-round playoff series, or are they that team that they were before that, where they were kind of floundering near the bottom of the standings?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that we're going to see some pretty outstanding goaltending in this division. I mean, you look at what Lucas Parikh did last night. Lucas Parikh did last night up in Boise. You're looking at what Garrett Metcalf is doing tonight here, again, on a large piece of ice against a very game Idaho Steelheads club. I mean, you're going to see some big-time goaltending in this division. What we're seeing for Poirier tonight's pretty impressive. I mean, this is going to be a really tough division. And I think, again, to your point last night and tonight, I think Idaho's just a much better team than they were last year. They just, frankly, were not good enough last year, and they've gone out and made a lot of changes. But I think this division's going to get better and better. I don't know who's going to have better goaltending than these two clubs right here. And if there's a club out there that does, good luck scoring goals on them, because I think Garrett Metcalf tonight has been very impressive. His positioning looks good. And again, for a guy, and I know he was up in AHL camp, right? So he was playing in some scrimmages, but this is a guy that's coming off of a shoulder surgery that cost him the back half of last year. He was up at Lehigh Valley in the A last year for a good stretch where he played really well. You expect big things out of him, and I think if you can have a tandem of a Lucas Parikh and a Garrett Metcalf, I think that puts you in a really good position to repeat in the division. And I think that's absolutely the bare minimum expectation for this Utah Grizzlies team.
Yeah, the Grizzlies do expect to be near the top of the Mountain Division, if not the top of the Mountain Division. Idaho and Rapid City might be two teams that end up challenging them. For Tulsa, they got a good head coach in Rob Murray. I think Rob was coaching in Alaska when you were with Adrian Denny many years ago.
Yes.
And Rob Murray's one of the solid coaches in the league. You're going to get a good effort from the Oilers every night.
Yeah, you miss. I actually miss Alaska. I think that was always such a team building trip. But now I can't remember. They transformed it to a different club out east. But I mean, this division has changed. This league has changed so much. But I don't know that we've seen this kind of strength out of the ECHL. And it'll be interesting to see how this division and how the West Coast for the ECHL evolves, because I don't think you're going to leave Idaho and Utah out here on an island by themselves. You need more travel partners, and I've heard all kinds of rumors from Vegas to Reno we'll see what happens. But right now, here today, I don't think there's any doubt the Utah Grizzlies are favored in this division, in my opinion. But, man, from what we've seen the last two nights, if this is any indication, the rivalry between the Utah Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads is back in a very big way, Tyson.
Yeah, Idaho's looked really impressive this weekend, and there's no question from top to bottom, it's a tough league, and especially tough to win on the road, game in and game out. I think it's kind of interesting when you think about, where the Grizzlies have been the last couple of years, and with Ryan Kanasowicz in his second season. I think it's kind of interesting to kind of see how the game has changed over the last handful of years. I mean, it's turned in from, when I started watching Grizzlies games, about a decade ago, I'd come as a fan, and it was an incredibly physical game. You kind of have seen over the last handful of years speed become the name of the game.
Yes.
And I think for the Grizzlies, they've got as much speed as anybody. And I think Idaho, as we've seen here this weekend, they've done a good job of trying to match the Grizzlies' speed, and they've got some fast guys. Nick Canati, who I've mentioned all night, he's about as fast as anybody on the ice for either side. And, when I was talking with broadcasters that would face the Grizzlies last year and even a couple of years ago, the one thing they'd always mention was the Grizzlies' speed. And that was the one thing that Ryan Kanasowicz wanted when he became head coach of the Grizzlies, is he wanted a fast team that makes quick decisions. And when the Grizzlies were at their best, which I think was about the middle of the regular season. Then we even saw it going into the playoffs last year when they started to play some great hockey. That speed, going north-south and forcing the opponents to be on their heels. The opponents really didn't know what to do, as they had, they were getting overwhelmed by the Grizzlies' speed going north-south. And it wasn't just the speed, it was the quick decision-making by guys like Ben Tardiff, utilizing that speed in a productive way.
Yeah, and that's the phrase right there, in a productive way, because I think that's exactly right. It's great if you're fast, but if you can't do anything at the end of that burst to be creative, to be productive, again, the little simple things like, hey, get the puck to the net. The little simple things like, hey, you know what? Let's get that puck in and go forecheck. So hey, maybe that burst of speed is getting you from your slot to the red line, to center ice, so you can dump that puck in and go get a forecheck. It's being productive with that speed, because speed is meaningless if you don't know how to use it.
That's why one guy, he's not in the lineup tonight, but one guy I'm really excited to see is Dakota Raby. He spent 4 years at Michigan, was at Sacred Heart last year as a graduate transfer. He was the guy that last season, in particular against Idaho, in the final regular season weekend, and we even saw it a little bit in the postseason. It's using speed, getting from end to end, but then doing something with it. That's where I'm really excited about the possibility of him this year.
And what Dakota Raby does so well is that those angles he takes through the neutral zone, his ability to get to the offensive blue line and then cut across, receive that pass, the ability for him to get blue line to blue line in a blink, stop on a dime, let the defender, fly on by, avoid the hit, get the puck in, make a productive pass. Those are the things that you have to be able to do because, again, Dakota Raby is as talented and as able as anybody else, but he's fast and he understands how to use that speed and his size to create opportunities for his teammates. I thought he did a great job of that all through camp here this week. And then last night, I thought he had some really good moments in Idaho.
And that's where I think Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike, they always talk about their defensemen. Say move it up the head to the forwards. Just keep delivering quick decisions, move north-south. But then you almost see a guy like Victor Bartley, and it's kind of the opposite where he's going to be pretty patient if he knows that, the opposition's not on their heels. Wait back, make the right decision, get it to the neutral ice, and use that patience. And I think that's where a guy like Nate Klerman, Connor McDonald, James Shearer, they're pretty good at starting that transition game by making that nice outlet pass from their own zone, maybe their own goal line, out to center ice.
It'll be interesting to see how this roster comes together, changes, guys get released or, guys, who's going to wind up on the injured list or, who's dealing with what. It'll be interesting to see how that comes together. I am really looking forward to seeing what do the final D pairings look like? Where does Klerman fit into this? Where does, at the end of all of these conversations, where does a big guy like Andrew Nielsen, who I agree with what you're saying, that shot, maybe he can be the guy from the dot to finish on the reversal. Like, who are the final pairings on the blue line? And I think Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike have some very difficult decisions to make up front because I think you're seeing a lot of these forwards, again, as much as I can say it, I think Kyle Betts is playing his way into a significant role on this club, and I think they have some very difficult decisions because of it.
Third period begins shortly. 2-1 Idaho leads. Kyle Betts has Utah's goal. Jordan Timmons and Ty Pelton-Bice with the Idaho tallies. Let's get to some NHL scores on this Saturday night. Games have gone final. Flyers defeat the Canucks 3-2. And, we're going to see, it looks like Hayden Hodgson, the former Grizzly, was a scratch for Philadelphia tonight. Hodgson, who played with the Grizzlies a couple years ago and made the Flyers towards the end of last season. He was on the opening day roster, but he didn't play in the Philadelphia 3-2 victory as John Tortorella's crew is 2-0 on the season. Boston defeats Arizona 6-3. Panthers over the Sabres 4-3. Toronto over Ottawa 3-2. Red Wings defeat the Devils in a rematch of the 1995 Stanley Cup Finals. 5-2 is the final there. Pittsburgh over Tampa 6-2. Islanders defeat the Ducks 7-1. Capitals over the Canadiens 3-1. Blues defeat the Blue Jackets 5-2. And the Stars defeat the Predators 5-1. 5 minutes left in the first period. Vegas leads Seattle 2-0. No score between the Blackhawks and Blues. That game was 6.5 minutes left in the first period. 4 minutes left in the third. How about this for a high-scoring game? Kings lead the Wild 7-6. So the Kings have a one-goal lead. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. And with 3 minutes left in the first period, Calgary leads Edmonton 4-1 in a battle of Alberta's. Grizzlies have hit the ice here, and we'll have third period action shortly as Garrett Metcalf will be in net for the Grizzlies in the third period. We'll keep an eye on Idaho because they've got another goaltender that hasn't played so far in the preseason named Peter Thome. We'll see if he ends up seeing some third period time or if it's going to be Remy Poirier. As last night it was Jake Kupski getting the start. He played the entire way for Idaho and stopped 22 of 20 as Idaho won 3-2 last night. Idaho really has had their way against the Grizzlies the last handful of years in the preseason as the Steelheads have hit the ice, and it looks like it will be Poirier in net for the Steelheads in the third.
Not surprised by that at all. He has looked fantastic tonight. I mean, this could easily be at a minimum a tie game with about 1 minute and 30 seconds to go before we drop the puck on the third period. I mean, I think the storylines for this third period is you just got to clean up the neutral zone here. You've got to connect on more passes. I would not be surprised to see Tardiff come back out here, and absolutely it looks like that's what's gonna happen here. Because you got to get off to a fast start here, and I think Pfizer, Betts, and Tardiff have gotten off to a very fast start for Ryan Kanasowicz and the Utah Grizzlies. I think that line by far has been the best line. Obviously, Betts has the goal tonight. And if you're just tuning in here on YouTube for Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Mountain Land Supply Company, the story of tonight is who's going to make it and who's not. There are a lot of guys fighting for position tonight, fighting for ice time tonight. So it's going to be very interesting to see, how those storylines develop. But you look at the guys that are on the ice right now, Martin and McDonald, Ben Tardiff, I think, has been everything that we thought he would be and that we've been looking for him to be. So it'll be interesting to see how this third period plays out, Tyson.
Looks like it's going to be Tardiff to start the third period, along with Kyle Betts and Taryn Pfizer. The two defensemen are Bryson Martin and Connor McDonald. McDonald wearing an A on his sweater, so is Betts and Dylan Fitz. It'll be interesting over the next week to see if anybody gets the C. There's certainly a lot of great candidates to potentially be the captain for the Grizzlies. All three guys who are wearing A's tonight would certainly be good candidates. And a couple guys who aren't in the lineup, Nate Klurman, James Shearer could be good letter wearers for the Grizzlies. And
absolutely.
A lot of young faces on this Grizzlies team, but a lot of leadership being developed as the defending Mountain Division champion Utah Grizzlies will begin the regular season in 6 days, but we got the third period here, and it's won by Utah as the Grizzlies skate from right to left. Idaho leads 2-1. Rink-wide pass goes through Betts, and it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies.
No,
we get our first whistle 9 seconds into the third.
That's not the way you want it to start. The third period with icing. I mean, again, and if you're new, maybe you're new to hockey, what icing essentially means is that you're on your side, your defensive side of the red line, and you shoot it all the way past the goaltender for the other team. That's icing, and that means a draw in your own zone.
Draw's going to be in the left circle. Betts will take it for Utah. And it's won by the Grizzlies. Connor McDonald towards the end wall, spins it to the corner for Tardiff. Ben gets it back off the end wall for McDonald. Connor skates around his net, gets it back to Tardiff. Tardiff will bounce it off the boards as Vandenberg's has it in the corner as Kawaguchi gets it taken away by Betts. Tardiff in his own corner on the near side as he gets around the defender. Now Tardiff with a rink-wide pass. That connects to Pfizer. Right side, Pfizer skates out, take a shot. Saved by Poirier. Rebound goes all the way around the near wing boards. Idaho makes a line change as Bryson Martin gets the puck. He'll skate around his net. Martin gets around the defender. He crosses center ice. Martin looks like he's got good speed. He'll feed it across to Tardiff. Then gathers it out after it bounced off the skates. Tardiff around to the right corner. He's being shadowed by Heiskanen. Tries to feed it out in front, and Idaho pokes it back to center ice. Victor Bartley will skate back into Grizzlies territory. He'll feed it to Nilsson. Nilsson around center ice, dumps it in onto Poirier. And Poirier got it on one hop as the Grizzlies will get an offensive zone draw. And if you're going to dump it in, and that was a little bit risky for Nilsson because he was on his side of the red line at center ice. It would have been icing, but he fired it in, and because of that, the Grizzlies get an offensive zone draw.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, though, you'd really like to see, again, I don't mean to be redundant. Again, I know I've said it all night on YouTube. Be more decisive in your zone. There's a lot of playing with the puck deep in their own end, and it's leading to Idaho opportunities.
Sekos wins the faceoff for Utah against Becker. Now towards Bartley. He'll take a shot. Poirier got stung by it a little bit, but he makes the save. Walker for Idaho crosses center ice. He'll dump it in. Johnny Walker for the Grizzlies. 1 of 6 scratches for Utah as Willie Nerum over towards Jack Becker. No relation between the two Walkers as Becker has played a good game, number 27. He played at Arizona State last year. He'll take a shot. Saved by Metcalf as Garrett holds on. Jack Becker was a college teammate of Johnny Walker's last season at ASU. Before that, Becker played at the University of Michigan, where he was a teammate of Grizzlies forward Dakota Raby.
How about Arizona State's hockey program? Folks, if you don't know about Arizona State's hockey program, look it up. It is prolific. They had a massive sold-out crowd in a brand-new building in Tempe.
An NHL arena there in Tempe, as the draw is going to be in the right circle.
Right?
It's an NHL team's home right now, as Utah wins the face-off in their own zone, as the Grizz flip it high into the air. Cam Strong gets cut off by Thomas, who caught it in front of him. Strong battling with Thomas near Idaho's bench. Thomas will throw it back into the Steelhead zone as Idaho skates from left to right. Right wing pass to Wade Murphy. He'll step over the right offensive line as Pouncey gets hit with a high stick. That's going to be a penalty, and it's going to be on Idaho as Wade Murphy was trying to skate to the corner. Pouncey was shadowing him, and Murphy hit Pouncey with a high stick. Is it going to be 2 minutes or is it going to be 4?
Well, we'll find out.
The official comes to center ice. 2 minutes for high sticking. And at the penalty box now is Wade Murphy.
Again.
Murphy wearing number 6. He played in the ECHL last season, former draft pick of Arizona.
Look at this. You've got Tardiff, Fitz, Betts, and Pfizer out there with Nielsen. I love this combination on the power play.
That's to take the face off. It's won by Idaho as the Steelheads will throw it around their net, and they'll sell all the way out towards Garrett Metcalf. Metcalf has a collide off his pads. He'll feed it across to Nilsson. Andrew at the Grizzlies goal line. Now he skates north-south as Andrew still in his own zone. Throws a left wing pass to Tardiff. Tardiff steps over the blue line as Tardiff gets it back to Nilsson. He's in the left point. Now to Tardiff. Left circle. He gets double teamed as Tardiff. Throws it back up top for Nilsson. He feeds it across to Pfizer. Pfizer with a shot. He scores! Taryn Pfizer gets the goal. There was some traffic out in front, but it looked like a clean one. Past Poirier. It's a power play goal for Utah as they tied it up at 2.
And what happened there? Andrew Nielsen absolutely made the right play to throw that puck across the top of the offensive zone. Instead of trying to be cute with it, he got it from Tardiff, threw it across. That puck wound up on the goaltender and in the net. This game is tied with 17:36 to go in the third. It's 2-2 Utah and Idaho.
And we're talking about looking for a finisher on the power play. Taryn Pfizer's a prime candidate for that. He had 17 goals in 35 games with Victoria in the WHL. Pfizer will get the goal as we're tied at 2. We're back to 5-on-5 skating as the old saying is the boys are buzzing tonight in Ogden. Sekos on the left side will step over the blue line. He gets taken away by Brady. As Ty Pelton fights, he gets blasted by Keaton Jamison. As the Steelheads dump it into the Grizzlies zone, Jordan Stone runs after it. Stone feeds it out to center ice. He goes past Cameron Wright. On to Darren Brady at the Idaho line. Brady will back it out into his own zone as he'll feed it over to Kawaguchi. Jordan's his first name. Now Pelton Bice feeds it across to Kawaguchi, who gets the bouncing puck. Kawaguchi will skate towards the left side, surrounded by 3 Grizzlies. Kawaguchi gets it to Becker, who skates in left side. Shot! Saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on, 16:57 left in the third. We've had quite a game here and a lot of action. And you're talking about 2 good teams. This has been an outstanding preseason game. You know, sometimes you think preseason games can get a little bit sloppy. That's definitely not the case here tonight.
And I think what you're seeing is when the Grizzlies play the system, when they do things like, hey, make the simple pass, it's not spectacular and it doesn't need to be. But guess what? Twice now it's ended up in the back of the net.
Idaho wins the offensive zone draw. Kanati with a shot blocker saved by Metcalf. Out in front, the Grizzlies throw it over to the left corner. Penner tosses ahead to Fitz. Fitz on the right side, feeds it across, and that's picked off by Timmons. Timmons on the right side, skates towards the circle. Now he stops in the corner as McDonald shadowing him. Timmons with a shot, saved by Metcalf.
Well, you don't like to see turnovers in the middle of the ice, right at the top of their own zone. And I think Dylan Fitz would like to have that one back, and I'm sure next time he does, he won't make that mistake twice, because I think one thing that we've seen, especially with Timmons, and I think your guy, Kanati, qualifies for this as well, they're very opportunistic on the counter.
Draws in the right circle. Jack Becker will take it, and he wins it. Timmons with a shot. On it goes wide off the boards. He was looking for that little small part of the glove side of Metcalf. He was looking to get the corner and just barely missed.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that repeatedly last night and tonight now. The Idaho Steelheads love to shoot high on big goaltenders.
And there's not a whole lot of room when you get a guy like Metcalf who's listed at 6'4", but he's probably more like 6'5" or 6'6".
In skates, certainly.
Utah wins the draw as they'll dump it in, and running after it is Haskinen. Cody's his first name, number 74. He's got good size at 6'4", 198. Jack Becker in his own corner. They feed it back to Haskinen, who's behind the Idaho net. Steelheads in their blue and white jerseys will start the attack as Haskinen, right side, crosses center ice and dumps it around the boards. Vic Bartley has to go past him as the Steelheads skate towards the left circle. Zach Walker gets it. Walker will skate in. He'll take a shot on it. Got deflected off a stick. Right side as Owen Hedrick, didn't play last night. He'll throw it to the left corner. Now it goes to Walker. Oh, it's going to be a penalty on Bartley. Grizzlies looking to touch it up as Idaho will back it out to neutral ice. Well, I didn't see what Bartley did there. Maybe holding or something as Idaho will peel back into their own zone and see if they can get something on the delayed penalty. Idaho will cross center ice, will feed it across to Walker. Walker skates in, gets it to Becker right side. Becker feeds it across. Timmons with a shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound, and it rolls towards the left side. Fitz will touch it up, and he'll sail it down the other end. And as Grizzlies going to be shorthanded, slashing is going to be the call. And probably going to be Bartley going to the penalty box for Utah. Although it looks like Cam Strong's headed towards that area. Strong will stay on the ice.
No, it's definitely Victor Bartley with a slash.
Bartley's going to the box for 2 minutes. 15:29 left in the third. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, and this is an absolutely critical moment in time in this game. As you said, tied at 2 with 15:29 to go. Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
Grizzlies win the draw over towards Sekos. Sekos will flip it out. Oh, is that going to be delay of game? It is. It's going to be a 5-on-3 as Sekos on a really tough angle tried to lift the puck. And unfortunately, he gave a fan a souvenir. I think I know her as she's one of our listeners. Unfortunately for Sekos, he gave a fan a souvenir from his own zone, and that means 2 minutes in the penalty box. Sekos joins Bartley as those two will take a seat, and it's going to be a 5-on-3 for 1:55.
Yeah, that's a mistake you can't make. I mean, it's just in these situations where you're killing penalties, that's a privilege to be on the penalty kill. That's a mistake you can't have.
As the draw won by Penner, who will clear it out. He won the faceoff and cleared it out himself. 5-on-3 as Idaho will cross center ice. Steelheads to the left side. Stop as they gain the line. Cutla. Patrick's his first name. Will stop in the slot. Now he'll skeet towards his left. He'll feed it to the right side. Now to Hedrick. Back to the right side. At the goal line. Now back to Hedrick. A good job by the Grizzlies poking it away. But it rolls back to Idaho as they'll skate in. Look to get it on Metcalf. And Garrett makes it glove save.
Excellent job there by Garrett Metcalf staying on the post. It's really easy as a netminder to drift off that post, and when you do that, you leave a big opening there. But Garrett Metcalf, really fundamentally sound, locking himself to that near post, making sure there's no opening for a goal.
That was Kawaguchi who took that shot near the goal line from Metcalf. Now they're still 5-on-3 for 1:23. Utah wins the draw. Nielsen spins it along the glass line, hit a stanchion, and rolls back towards the Steelhead zone as Utah is able to keep their 3 on the ice, but Idaho has to go the length of it. Kudla, a good skater across the center ice. Now he steps over the blue line. He's on the right side as he veers towards the boards. Kudla has plenty of room as he'll skate towards the slot. Kudla feeds it to the right side for Kawaguchi. Now the Hedrick, one-timer shot save, rebound shot, and that one looks like that one's saved as well.
Up onto the net there. Excellent positioning by Garrett Metcalf again. 56 seconds to go in the 2-man advantage for Idaho, and this feels like an eternity, although the Grizzlies were able to make a change here. Kyle Betts will stay out. Connor McDonald out there as well. Looks like Cam Wright.
Looks like Idaho has gotten 5 fresh skaters on the ice of their own. 56 seconds left in a 5-on-3, and then 6 seconds after that, Sekos will come out of the box. Idaho wins the draw. Nick Canati, who scored last night, will feed it to the right side, back to Canati. Now to the left. As Heiskanen, plenty of room in the slot. He feeds it to the left circle. Back to Canati. One-timer. Now he didn't get anything on it. Goes towards Heiskanen, back to Canati. He'll feed it to the left circle. Idaho. Keller back to Canati. He'll get it back to Keller's in the left point. Up top for Heiskanen. Sees in the slot, plenty of room. He'll take a shot. And a save. And Idaho has scored as it trickled in. As Metcalf fell on his back, and the Steelheads have taken a 3-2 lead as they score a 5-on-3 power play goal. And it looks like first to the bench, it's going to be Cody Heiskanen, who might have found a way to tip it in.
Boy, an interesting sequence there. Garrett Metcalf actually lost his blocker, which I think played a role in the puck going in. And I think I'm interested to see Bryson Martin is over here talking to the official.
That was a tricky-looking play. I think Martin's trying to say something with the official. The official was in a good position, and it looks like Martin's talking with him a little bit.
Well, you'd like to understand how that blocker came off. I mean, you know, if you know anything about goalie equipment, that blocker's got a pretty good wrist strap on it. It's not easy to – it's not like it could just fall off. So you wonder how that came off of Garrett's hand. And this is a long conversation now with Martin and the official.
Almost means that Martin's got a point, even though the official looks like he's speaking a little bit more than Martin. Martin's one of the bright guys.
It, though.
I saw him on the bus as he wanted to get a front row seat, as it was a little bit cooler for about the first hour, and then it just completely got destroyed, and it was about 110 degrees on that bus. Martin eventually resigned to the fact that Idaho has scored, as he's going to skate to the bench. We talk about one of the leaders of the team, Martin, with quite a bit of professional experience. This is 8th different team in the ECHL. And he's the guy that's made the rounds. As Idaho wins the face-off, they lead 3-2. They're still on the 5-on-4 power play for 25 seconds. Idaho will step over the blue line as play starts to get physical along the near side. Fans like that. Puck exits back to center, but Idaho's in control. Jade Miller will drop it back off for Heiskanen. Heiskanen. He'll feed it over to the left side as Nick Canati steps over the line as Grizzlies will gather it and clear it all the way out. And that will do it for the power play as Sekos comes out of the box. He'll join the play as Idaho's in control deep in their own zone. 13-17 and counting left in the third. Steelheads lead 3-2.
Well, if you can't score on a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes, you probably don't deserve to win the game. So not surprising to see Idaho up by a goal.
Heiskanen crosses center ice. He was a college teammate of Kyle Betts at Cornell University. Grizzlies will poke it back towards the Steelheads blue line. Idaho in control. Heiskanen, he'll flip it into the seats as it goes flying. And a guy gets a souvenir, it looks like. Dropped his phone. I don't know how he didn't spill his beer, but he spilled a little bit, not too much. And we got to delay a game with Sekos a couple minutes ago. And Cody Heiskanen lifted it over the glass. I wonder if the glass is a little bit shorter than it is in other places. And I think that's contributed to some of the delay of games.
Well,
Heiskanen gave a fan a souvenir in our section.
And you'll notice that the net attaches to the front of the glass here in Ogden.
Yeah, that's why we've seen a lot of whistles there.
Yes, that's exactly right.
3-2 Steelheads. Grizzlies are on a power play. Heiskanen got 2 minutes for delay of game as the Grizzlies win the face-off. Pfizer, who scored a third period goal earlier on, over to Nielsen. It was a power play goal. Maybe Pfizer can do it again. Pfizer has the puck along the near wall, feeds it across to Tardiff. Ben thinking about getting to Nielsen, fakes to him. Now he gets to Nielsen, right side, back to Pfizer. One-timer, a kick save by Poirier. It might have gone wide anyway, but Poirier was able to kick a skate out. Action over in the far corner. Grizzlies spin it around. Pfizer with good hands keeps it in. Pfizer, 1:30 left in the Grizzlies power play, gets to Nielsen. Andrew winds and fires onto traffic. Shot saved by Poirier and rolls towards Fitz. Fitz will bounce it off the far boards for Tardiff. Tardiff throws it to the corner, loses the puck. Thomas clears it out.
Excellent heavy slap shot from Andrew Nielsen there. Dylan Fitz made a big play to make that shot happen, too.
Both teams make a line change, although Nielsen's still out there. Nielsen, actually, the Grizzlies only got a couple new skaters out there. Idaho took it away as Kedrick feeds it across. Left side, Idaho steps over the line, over to Miller. Take a shot, saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies come back the other way from right to left. Tardiff crosses center ice, gets around Bartley. Tardiff's on the left side. Now he gets around the net with a puck. Tardiff over towards the right corner as he stops. 3 Grizzlies and 2 Steelheads over in the corner. Now Hedrick skates over there. 40 seconds left in the power play. 11:35 left in the third. Idaho leads 3-2. Tardiff skates towards the right point with the puck. Now he'll feed it up top for Sekos. High slot. Now to Victor Bartley. Left side, back to Tardiff. Tardiff, he'll take a shot, and that one's saved by Poirier. Rebound goes back to Tardiff. Tardiff gets it back across to Bartley. Over to Sekos, but Sekos moved to his right. Bartley thought he was more in the high slot as he exits his zone. As Sekos gets it, he'll feed it to Bartley as everybody steps over the blue line again. Bartley over to the corner. Cameron Wright up top for Sekos. Now to Martin. Back to Sekos. Now to the left side for Wright. As the power play is now over, Sekos with a shot. That one gets blocked. As out of the penalty box is Heiskanen. As Utah centers it, picked off by Walker. He'll throw it to the blue line. Sekos kept it in. And Utah still in the offensive zone. Left side for Bartley. Bartley skates towards the left corner. He tries to feed it across. It bounces off the boards. Keller gets it. 2-on-2. Steelheads cross center ice. Keller gets hit pretty hard at the Grizzlies blue line. Good defensive play by Bryson Martin. Grizzlies behind the net. Have control of the puck as they're going to be patient with their approach. Sekos will feed it to the far side as Martin gets it across to Joey Strada, who's drawn a couple penalties tonight. Strada on the near side will skate along the boards. Gets it out to center. Idaho picks it off. Timmons over to the right side. He's played well tonight. Timmons will take a shot. He scores! And Jordan Timmons is retaking the lead as he fired it on a really tough angle. And
wow,
Idaho has scored.
That is a shot that has to be stopped by Garrett Metcalf, and I don't think he'll have any problem telling you that. And what happened, though? What led to that goal? Strada did not get that puck in or did not get it to somebody coming out of the zone. He turned it over at the red line, and all of a sudden, Timmons is on the fly, and instead of being 3-2, it's now 4-2. Idaho leads the Utah Grizzlies halfway through the third period. Wow.
Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 2. 10:09 left in the third. A big insurance goal by the Steelheads, Jordan Timmons. That's his second goal of the night. As off the draw, Timmons wins it, and he'll dump it in. Timmons last season played a little bit with the Steelheads towards the end of it. Started the year with Long Island University. As Grizzlies in their defensive zone far side. Becker will bounce it to the point. Now to Heiskanen right side. Heiskanen towards the boards will bounce it off the end wall intentionally as it rolls back towards Kanadi. Kanadi will bounce it off the backboards. The Grizzlies around the net. Get it to Tardiff. Ben gets it taken away. Jordan Stone in the area. Heiskanen kept it in, right point, dumps it around as Pfizer gathers it, left corner. Pfizer around the net. Idaho makes a line change. 9:30 and counting left in the third. Steelheads are up by 2. Tardiff will dump it in as he'll get off the ice for a change. Actually, he'll stay on there. Betts will come off as the Steelheads over in the defensive corner. Takes the puck. Jonas Vandenbergs, the Latvia native. As Heiskanen now has it, he'll throw it to center ice. Kawaguchi will skate towards the left side near the circle. Take a shot. Glove saved by Metcalf as Garrett holds on with 9:04 left in the third.
More messy play in their own end by the Grizzlies, and it takes so much energy out of you to continue to battle and chase that puck. And it's one of the things that Idaho has done very well all throughout this weekend, throughout these 2 games, is absolutely we have seen them control the pace of play. 9:04 to go in the third. Idaho 4, the Utah Grizzlies 2 on the Utah Grizzlies Broadcasting Network.
Maveric's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Idaho leads 4-2. Steelheads scored the first 2 goals of this game. Jordan Timmons 7-1 into the first period. Ty Pelton-Bice scored 9-1 into the second. Kyle Betts got Utah on the board 15-21 into the second. We headed into the third period with Idaho leading 2-1. Taryn Pfizer got a power play goal, 2:24 into the third. Ben Tardiff and Andrew Nilsson got the assist. That was a power play tally. Idaho got a power play goal of their own as Cody Heiskanen scored 6:06 in. Nick Canati and Colton Keller with the assist. And then Timmons unassisted, 9:51 into the third, made it a 4-2 game. That's where we stand now. Now Idaho will take a shot after winning the faceoff. Pelton-Bice's blast goes wide. Steelheads over in their offensive right corner as Idaho skating from left to right this period. Grizzlies gather it, skate around the net as Andrew Nilsson will feed it over to the left corner as he tries to locate it. Idaho took it away. Steelheads skate along the goal line. Pelton-Bice gets tripped up, and the official spotted a penalty.
Oh, wow.
And it looks like it's going to be a power play for Idaho.
Careful here. Garrett Metcalf looks like he got kind of kicked in the head here. His headgear is laying on the ice. We'll see if he's okay, but an ugly sequence there.
The trainer, Colin Lee, gets his first appearance of the preseason, and he's one, like every trainer, you don't want to be mentioned because that means that you're running on the ice because somebody is hurt a little bit. So he's looking at Garrett a little bit.
Very awkward sequence there for Garrett Metcalf as Victor Bartley will head back to the box here for 2 more. 8:42 to go in the contest. 4-2 Idaho over Utah. And now it looks like Garrett Metcalf will be fine as he straps back on that mask of his.
Idaho has outshot Utah 33-21. It was a pretty similar story last night where the Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 34-22.
And it's more self-inflicted damage. I mean, let's be honest about it. And I know it's only the preseason, but it drives you crazy when maybe it's sense of urgency is the right word in their own zone.
Utah wins the faceoff, skates around Metcalf's up, blasted off the glass. Utah could sure use a shorthanded goal here as Cameron Wright over on the right side as he's being surrounded by 2 Steelheads. Idaho pokes it away from him. Cameron Wright trying to battle as he gets around a Steelhead. Wright skates to neutralize. He skates back in 1-on-4. Idaho took it away from him. As you can tell, the Grizzlies ultra aggressive here, shorthanded, knowing that they want to get a tally here to get back in this game. As Idaho's up by 2. Steelheads are on the power play, but it's that aggressiveness that we just saw there from Cameron Wright. That's why the Grizzlies led the league in shorthanded goals, even though Wright is in his first season as a pro. As Idaho crosses center ice and dumps it in. McDonald in the area, and he has it deflect off a Steelhead stick and goes out of play. Fun fact about Connor McDonald, he actually led all league defensemen last season in shorthanded assists.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a stat.
But it's like the movie Mr. Baseball where Jack Elliott led his club in 9th inning doubles in the month of August.
There you go. The almanac known as Tyson Whiting.
As the draw won by Idaho. They'll feed it over to the right side. Owen Hedrick gets to the right circle. Now back up top for Hedrick. Now to Kubla. He'll take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to the right corner. Idaho back up top for Hedrick. He wears number 7. He skates towards his left, now to the right side. One-timer, and it goes high. That was taken by Kawaguchi. Idaho back towards Svanenbergs. He's got really good size, and he looks like he's going to be a good one. Very young player as well. Hedrick on the right side gets it to Kawaguchi. He's on the right. He'll switch places with Hedrick as Kawaguchi now on the right point. He'll get it towards the boards. Weiss, now back to Kudla. Now Kawaguchi dancing around being shadowed by Tardiff. Now Kawaguchi will skate towards the slot. Feed it over to the left side. Shot that gets blocked. Utah's running it down. Turn Pfizer over to the right side. He's got a breakaway. Pfizer couldn't quite get a shot off as Kawaguchi was cutting towards his left, and Pfizer really didn't have much of a shooting angle.
Boy, you should have seen Benjamin Tardiff just jetting down the middle of the ice. That was impressive.
Jack Becker crosses center ice. He'll gain the line as Idaho. Becker to the left side, drops it off to Corey Thomas. And the big lefty will take a shot that goes high. Stays in play. Matt Steve feeds it to the right circle. Idaho looks to center to Timmons, who's looking for the hat trick, but didn't get anything on a shot as Grizzlies did a good job taking his time and space away.
Is that Timmons down in a heap for Idaho?
Hopefully he'll be okay, but it looks like he's really struggling to get to his feet.
Yeah, he's going to need a hand coming off the ice here.
Trainer Thomas Gillespie.
Well, you don't like to see that with 6:42 to go in the preseason.
Gillespie's looking at Thomas, and that's too bad. Now, hopefully he's not hurt because Timmons has looked good tonight with 2 goals, and he's got 5 shots. That is second on the Steelheads for the night. Jordan Kawaguchi has 7 shots. Timmons a +2 this evening, but it looks like he's unable to get to his feet as of yet.
Jordan Timmons is down. He's going to be assisted up to his feet here.
Lower body, and it looks like he's having a tough time
right leg.
putting weight on one of his legs.
Yeah, he's dragging that right leg pretty significantly. That is just terrible.
Hopefully Timmons will be okay. Gets a good hand from what is a really good crowd here at the Ogden Ice Sheet.
Yeah, the guys here at the Ice Sheet have done a very nice job here in Ogden. The Mustangs played a fantastic game against the Spud Kings from Idaho.
Looked like Ogden ended up winning that game 6-1, although it was closer than it was closer than the score would indicate. As I think Ogden scored twice in the final minute.
Yeah, really good day of hockey out here at the Weber County Ice Sheet. Thanks to everybody out here for hosting us, and a great day of hockey for the Ogden Mustangs.
I know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We appreciate you choosing us tonight.
Yeah, full house out here as well. Good to see the fans back in front of a hockey game.
Grizzlies back at full strength. Idaho wins the face-off as they're in the offensive zone as Willie Nearham spins it back around behind the net as Jack Becker, he's being shadowed by Connor McDonald. Grizzlies very aggressive trying to get the puck back, down by 2. Idaho leads 4-2 as Becker around the net. Grizzlies will throw it back towards the right side. Steve will throw it to Walker in the corner as he gets pushed by Penner. Penner holds up Walker, but Walker keeps the puck. Walker goes down on 2 knees. Penner hacking away at him. Walker around the boards over towards the near side, and Bryson Martin gets double teamed behind the Utah net. Becker tries to get around McDonald. Becker will look to center it. Thomas couldn't get a shot off. Good job by Fitz being in the spot. Left side. Shot goes wide as it rolls around the near wall. Victor Bartley will dump it in lightly. I was hoping that he would dump it in light enough to where it wouldn't get to the goal line, but it looked like he put a little bit too much onto it, and icing is called as we'll head back down to the Grizzlies zone with 5:51 left in the third.
That's a long shift, too. I mean, Vic was very definitely trying to just get that puck in far enough. And now that same group, if you don't know if you're not familiar with hockey rules, when you're called for icing, the same group of guys, those 5 guys have to stay on the ice. So now it'll be a defensive zone draw for the Utah Grizzlies. It's a big draw for Tyler Penner. He needs to win this draw so that they can get that change.
Yeah, initially took Timmons to the bench. Now it looks like they're getting Timmons to the locker room.
I just hate to see
certainly
that.
hope Jordan Timmons will be okay, as he had 2 goals tonight for the Steelheads, and he played for Long Island University, which is one of the schools that Garrett Metcalf attended, and then he spent the latter portion of last season with Idaho. It's his first full season as a pro. Good size at 6'2", 225, and he looks like he's got some good goal scoring ability, and hopefully it's nothing too serious, and hopefully he won't miss too much time. Draws in the left circle. Steelheads lead 4-2. 5:51 left in regulation. As the draw won by 2 guys go down, and the arm is raised by the referee. It looks like it's on Idaho. As Dylan Fitz left side, take a shot. Saved by Poirier. And Zach Sekos gets it off the ice as Metcalf on a delayed penalty. as Nilsson back in his own zone, as he'll get it to Tardiff. Ben gets around Colton Keller. Actually, he'll just back out as Keller will skate towards center ice. Now Pfizer gets it. Pfizer at neutral ice, so it's a left wing pass to Cameron Wright. Right to the left side, throws it up top for Tardiff. Ben will skate towards his right as he's in the high slot. He'll take a shot in traffic. I got redirected as it looked like it would have gone high anyway. And we get a tripping call as it was kind of interesting right off the draw. Two guys went down simultaneously, and the referee was kind of in an interesting angle, caught Colton Keller, and Keller is the one to get the only penalty. So Utah's on the power play.
Colton Keller took a penalty?
That happens. He plays a physical brand of hockey, and there are some guys that, you're playing hard, and sometimes when you're playing hard, you can trip or hold sometimes. So I think that you got some penalties that a coach like Everett Sheen would say, hey, you're just playing hard, nothing to it. I mean, really, it's like some of those guys. There's one guy for the Grizzlies last year. He didn't have a penalty the first half of the season. Coach is like, it might not necessarily be a good thing. Get out there and play hard. Every now and then you might trip somebody.
Yeah. Win the draw. Battle for the puck.
Battle for the puck in the slot. Idaho comes out with it. Steelheads won some 50-50 pucks tonight.
They
They'll
really
back it into the
have.
Grizzlies' zone.
They really have too many 50-50 battles.
Andrew Nilsson has it at the Utah blue line. He'll feed it across to Tardiff, who crosses center ice. Tardiff will skate towards his right, get it to Pfizer. Pfizer steps over the offensive blue line as he'll stop along the near wall. As Pelton Bice takes it away. And, he tried to clear it all the way. It hit off Kleinendorf and it only went to center ice. Tardiff to his left. Flies along the left wing. Tardiff over in the circle. Looks to center at the best shot. Somehow missed. As Betts had an outstanding look from Tardiff. Now Betts will Tardiff will back it out to the left side. Now he re-enters. He gets blasted by Hedrick, and Idaho will clear it out.
Boy,
Grizzly there that looked like he got hit with a high stick, and Kyle Betts, and the official was looking the other way. Betts will skate towards the bench with holding his hand on his face. Grizzlies in their own zone. As Idaho will chip it into the Grizzlies bench. 4:11 left in the third, 58 seconds left in the power play. As Kyle Betts will get looked over by the Grizzlies trainer, calling
and they're talking about it. Colin Kleinendorf, the linesman, is talking to the official, as is Bryson Martin, asking why there was no call there.
That's tough in a league where you only have one referee. When you think about the AHL and NHL where you got two referees, it's just a lot more for the official to spot, and you can only see so much of the ice. And it looked like Jackson was looking more towards the Grizzlies zone, and the action was towards his side.
I mean, you're never going to see anything. And this is one of the most difficult leagues to officiate, in my opinion. So, I mean, you don't completely,
it happens sometimes. Especially with just one ref. You're going to miss some things. Grizzlies win the draw. Bartley skates around his net. Now I'll throw a left wing pass to Martin. Bryson will dump it into the corner, gets around Steve. Now Martin will spin it back around to the right side. Sekos in the right point has it. So Grizzlies are still on the power play. Bartley will skate towards his left. He's just outside the circle. He'll drop it off for right along the near wall. Right back up top for Bartley. He skates towards his right. He feeds to the right circle. Shot. And Martin couldn't get much on it. Puck's over in the corner. Thomas holds up Martin in the corner. Thomas has good size. So does Martin. Idaho's Willie near him. And so feed it over to Jack Becker. And Becker will clear it out.
Again, another 50-50 battle. And those little things add up. Over a two-game series like this, night after night, those little things add up.
Up ahead to Sekos. He skates into the right side. He drops it off. Shot saved by Poirier. Rebound. And somehow Poirier has held on to it. And he is showing why the 21-year-old's got an NHL contract.
Just sitting in the paint, waiting to be tipped into the net. And Poirier did a great job. When you don't know where that is, a lot of times as a goaltender, what you're going to do is just fall back and kind of snow angel it, if you will, to cover that puck. His instincts told him, hey, danger, fell down on it and got the whistle. Grizzlies were so close with 3 seconds to go on the power play here.
Poirier is a former 6th-round pick by the Dallas Stars back in the 2020 NHL draft. He signed a 3-year entry-level deal with Dallas on March 10th of 2022. Grizzlies win the draw. They're on the power play. They'll take a shot, and that one goes wide. Power play's over as Keller enters the ice. He'll join the play. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. Pouncey with a shot, and that goes wide off the boards. Rolls on to Poirier, who covers up.
Tyler Penner right there in front. Good to see number 21 back in the lineup. Had a good run up at Manitoba in the preseason in the AHL. It's always good to get that experience, get that polish. And I was talking to Pens the other day when he got here. And, he was talking about how that really helps you. It grows your confidence. You feel like you're a better player. You have your chest out a little bit more. And certainly, I think Ryan Kanasowicz is counting on Tyler Penner to be a leader on this team.
Penner will take the face-off. He'll take a lot of key face-offs for the Grizzlies this year, as will Kyle Betts. Utah wins the draw. Bartley with a shot. Poirier makes the save. That was a quick one by Bartley in the slot, and Poirier, with a couple bodies out in front, was able to make the stop.
Yeah, and Victor Bartley's a guy that Ryan Kanasowicz knows well. They were teammates over a decade ago. And Vic has played all over the world, 120 games in the NHL. And it's that quick trigger you see right there that makes all the difference when you're trying to get back from a 4-2 deficit here, 3 minutes to go in the third.
Penner will take another face-off against Jack Becker. This one is won by Idaho. That was another 50-50 puck that Idaho won. The Grizzly player is holding his face, and once again, no call. That's Cam Strong, who's holding his face, skating to the bench. As Becker dumps it in, Bartley runs after it. Bartley up top for Martin. It goes past his stick and onto the neutral zone. Steelheads in control of the puck. As the evaluation of the officials is being made by some of the fans here at the ice sheet. Now it's the left side. Fitz left wing shot. Poirier got a stick on it, and it goes out of play. Boy, the hand-eye coordination of Poirier is incredible, but Dylan Fitz last season scored some goals like that, flying along the left side, maybe once when he was flying along the right side where he was able to get a good look.
And it looks like Garrett Metcalf is going to go to the bench here, and the Grizzlies net is going to be empty, trailing 4-2, 2:32 to go. Pfizer, Nielsen, Tardiff. Looks like Zekos is going to take the draw here with Wright and Betts.
I think that's Kawaguchi taking the face-off for Idaho. We're so close to the ice, sometimes it'd be tough to tell. I think it's Bice. Utah wins the face-off. Nielsen tries to throw it towards the slot. He does. Betts doesn't have room to get a shot off. Now Kawaguchi gets it. He'll fire. Oh, he tried to fire towards the empty net. Nielsen cupped it out and kept it in. Right wing shot. That one goes wide. That was taken by Betts. Now Pfizer over to Tardiff. Ben gets it to the right point for Nielsen. Up top for Tardiff. Ben fakes a shot, gets to Nielsen. Nielsen faked a one-timer. Now he takes one and gets blocked out in front. Rolls towards the end wall as Betts gets it over to Pfizer. Pfizer to the left side for Sekos. He'll get it to Tardiff. Left side. Now near the boards for Pfizer. He gets hit but keeps his feet. I'll try to get it to Pfizer, and it goes past him. And now the Steelheads have an empty net. They'll fire towards it. And Kawaguchi has put this baby in the refrigerator as he scores an empty netter. It's the Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 2. As they were trying to get to Tardiff on the left side, somehow the puck ended up rolling past him. It was a foot race, and Kawaguchi ended up winning that foot race. And if you can win a foot race with Ben Tardiff, hey, you're pretty fast, and Kawaguchi is fast.
Well, and you don't have to go nearly as far when you have an empty net to shoot at.
And it was the empty net goal was probably he shot it from about 15 feet, just out in front in the slot, and just tapped it in. The Steelheads are going to win both preseason games, barring something I've never seen before. As the Grizzlies dump it in. That might be icing. It got redirected by a stick, so no icing. Is over in the corner. Joey Strada will spin it back around as it rolls back towards Keller. Joey Pulitarchi for Utah running after it as the puck bounced off the skate. Strada, nice move as he tries to get around a check as he throws it towards the goal line on the near side. And now up top for Pouncey. He feeds it across the Stone. Jordan will take a shot that gets blocked. Now Pulitarchi gets the Strada on the left side. 1:20 left in regulation. Idaho's up 5-2. Strada will feed it over towards the near goal line. And the pass connects as looked like Jamison maybe. Jamison over to the corner with Becker in the area as there's 1 minute left. As Metcalf is in front of his net as Willie Nearham, number 29, gets to center ice. Right side dumps it in as it rolls along the near wall. Metcalf will give way to the defenseman. That's Stone. Jordan will feed it to the near side. As Pouncey gets it back to Stone. Jordan over towards Cam Strong. Glanced off his stick and rolls deep into the Steelhead zone. Strong battling behind the net. Idaho will toss it back to the corner. Steelheads won all the 50-50 pucks here tonight. As Walker at the center ice logo will backhand it out to the Utah blue line. It's gloved by McDonald. He'll give it to Strong. Strong back in front of Metcalf. Now he'll start the attack again as he feeds it to the far side. Grizzlies skating from right to left. 28 seconds left. Get it over to Fitz on the left side. Up top for McDonald. He'll take a wrist shot on. They got blocked by Walker as it goes to the left corner. McDonald over to Fitz on trying to find somebody out in front. Now Penner on the left side. 15 seconds left. He'll take a shot that gets blocked. Zach Walker will nudge it out to neutral ice. He'll still come off the ice for a line change. Actually, Walker will stay on. A couple other Steelheads come off. Blue line to blue line pass is picked off by Corey Thomas. 3 seconds left, and so watch the time run out, and that will do it. Idaho wins 5-2. There's a 2-1 score after 2 periods, and the Steelheads outscored the Grizzlies 3-1 in the third period. We hope Jordan Timmons is okay. He scored 2 goals for Idaho, but he left in the third period with an injury. And Utah got goals from Kyle Betts and Taryn Pfizer. And despite the loss, I thought that there were some good things from the Grizzlies tonight. It was just that as we saw the game progress, third period, the 50-50 pucks, just seemed like it was all Idaho.
Well, and again, it's going to be frustrating that you're going to have the storyline being that you had sloppy play in your own zone. You had turnovers in the neutral zone. Those things add up to goals against. I mean, at some point, you have to find a way to come out of your zone with momentum, because if you're not going to come out of your zone with momentum, as we get ready for the shootout here at the
ice sheet.
At the ice sheet here in Ogden,
Zach Sekos will shoot first for Utah as the Grizzlies. Last night it was a 3-round shootout. That might be what it is again.
I could be wrong, but I want to say this is the second year in a row that the Steelheads have won both.
Yep. Second straight year, and in the last 4 years, the Steelheads have won 7 out of the last 8 in the preseason. As Sekos will take the puck, he'll skate from right to left. Sekos will take it, and he'll veer off to the left. Sekos skates towards his right. He'll take a shot. Kick saved by Poirier as Sekos skated towards his right and then tried to go low on Poirier, but the Idaho goaltender has looked awfully impressive tonight, and there's a reason why he's drafted in the 6th round by the Stars and why he's got a 3-year NHL entry-level deal by Dallas.
Well, I also think there's a reason that
Niram will shoot first for Idaho as he'll skate into the right side. Niram will throw a backhand shot. Oh, he went backhand and tried to go back, and Metcalf kicked it away.
Yeah, Poirier is very composed. And the reason he is as good as he is because he's calm.
Cameron Wright will shoot second for Utah. No score through 1 round. Wright will take the puck. He'll skate towards his right, now to his left. Now Wright skates down the middle, take a righty shot on and goes high. He's missed high a couple times as he's making that adjustment to pro hockey. Wright misses the net, and shooting second for Idaho looks like it's Colton Keller. Now make that my favorite player, Nick Canati. Canati takes the puck. He'll skate to his left. He's been awfully impressive tonight as he'll skate towards his right, and he'll make a nice move on Metcalf. And Nick Canati faked to his right, then went back to his left, and he scores. That's just another one to put on the resume for him tonight.
Yeah, he's had a big – he was good last night too.
He better hope the coach's tape is working there for Idaho that they got up top. Shooting for Utah's Ben Tardiff. He's the 3rd one for Utah. Tardiff skates down the middle. Tardiff will take a backhand shot. He scores. What a move by Ben Tardiff.
Wow. Everything he does is electric. Everything that Ben Tardiff does is NHL caliber. That was an incredible finish off the backhand.
Janis Svanenbergs from Latvia. He takes the puck. He'll skate towards his left. Svanenbergs, he'll take a shot, and he scores as he goes glove side on Metcalf, and he wins it for Idaho. Still, it's won the game 5-2, but they win the shootout 2-1. And you're talking about 2 of the top teams in the Mountain Division. Obviously, Rapid City's going to be pretty tough, and so is Tulsa. But it was quite the preseason battle, and Idaho looks like they're going to be awfully strong if they play like they did tonight. As the Steelheads win the 2 games in the preseason. Grizzlies standing at center ice. They're going to salute the great fans that showed up here to the Weber County ice sheet. As the Grizzlies end the preseason, and 6 days from now, the regular season opener at Maverick Center against the Rapid City Rush, a rematch of last season's Mountain Division Finals.
Yeah, and I think the story of this preseason is going to be, play the system, keep it simple, play the system. And you lose both of these games to the Idaho Steelheads simply because you didn't play your system. That's what this really came down to. And when I say play the system, I mean, be good in your own end. Move the puck. Come out of your own zone with momentum. Come out of your own zone with pace. Be solid in the neutral zone. You can't have turnovers in the neutral zone. Those are all things that we saw tonight that I think you would like to have back. There's a lot of opportunities and a lot of passes that you made, frankly, that just were not well thought out. And I think when you go back and review the tape on these 2 games, and maybe they won't, I don't know, because they were not great performances. I think the things that you take away is you saw some really good goaltending. I think having Ben Tardiff back in the lineup tonight was absolutely scintillating. Same with Tyler Penner. Those 2 guys are going to perform. But you have some really tough decisions to make here, Tyson. I mean, if you are, Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike have very difficult choices because there are going to be some guys that aren't going to make this team. And I can tell you the message is if you're going to complicate things and you're not going to stay in the system, you're probably not going to be here because it's tough to play on this team if you're not going to follow the system.
Steelheads win 5-2. Let's recap the scoring. Jordan Timmons scored 7:01 into the first period. Zach Walker and Patrick Cutla with the assist. Steelheads led 1-0 after one. They outshot the Grizzlies 13-7 in the first period. Second period, the Grizzlies outshot Idaho 11-9. Both teams scored one goal. Idaho's Ty Pelton Bice found the back of the net. 9:01 into the second. Nick Canati and Matt Steef with the assist. Kyle Betts got Utah on the board 15-21 into the second. Jordan Stone and Taryn Pfizer with the assist. It was a Pfizer shot from the right point, and Betts was in front for the rebound. Idaho led 2-1 after two periods. Pfizer tied up the game on a power play goal, 2:24 into the third. Ben Tardiff and Andrew Nilsson with the assist, but they still had scored the final three goals of the game. The game winner is going to be Cody Haskinen, who scored 6:06 into the third period. Nick Canati and Colton Keller with the assist. Jordan Timmons scored unassisted from the right side, 9:51 into the third. And when it was a 4-2 game, Timmons went down with an injury, and he looked like he was not putting any weight on one of his legs, and so hopefully he'll be okay, but it does look like he might be out for a little bit for Idaho. And then an empty netter with 18:09 into the third with a little less than 2 minutes left. Jordan Kawaguchi scored. Svanenberg's with the assists, and both teams had a power play goal. Idaho was 1 for 6 on the power play. Utah was 1 for 7. Idaho outshot Utah 36-26. Second straight game, the Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies. This last night, Idaho had a 32-22 edge on shots. Garrett Metcalf and net stopped 31 of 35. Remy Poirier of Idaho stopped 24 of 26.
On to the regular season we go. Don't forget, we open up Friday night at the Maverick Center. It is going to be an incredible night, and if you have not seen the building, there are a whole lot of upgrades in the building. It is a completely different experience as a fan coming into the Maverick Center these days. A lot of new video boards, a lot of new atmosphere. Make sure you get your tickets for opening weekend next Friday and Saturday right now at UtahGrizzlies.com. And it is going to be fantastic. We're going to celebrate the Mountain Division Championship, raise the banner, and then it is off and running in their defense of the division and onward and upward in their pursuit. The Utah Grizzlies chasing that infamous, that elusive Kelly Cup championship. And we'll see if this could be that year. But it all starts Friday night. Make sure you get your tickets right now at UtahGrizzlies.com.
And after that first homestand, the Grizzlies will be on the road for 8 straight. So Friday and Saturday of next week, you're going to want to make sure to get your tickets because after that, it's 8 straight road games. Now, don't forget, Boise is going to be the first of the road trip. That's going to be 2 weeks from now, Friday and Saturday, 13 and 14 days from now. We always see a lot of Grizzlies fans in Boise. We hope to see a lot of Grizzlies fans over in Boise in late October.
I'm looking forward to that weekend. I love going up to Boise and watching hockey. I mean, it's just such a good building. So we're looking forward to that as well. But again, UtahGrizzlies.com to get your tickets. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a subscribe here on the Utah Grizzlies YouTube channel because you're going to see a lot of exclusive content. Tuesday, we release our first Inside the Grizzlies episode, which really takes you behind the scenes. You'll be up in Boise with the guys as they open the preseason. Last night, behind the scenes. It is just going to be a phenomenal series every Tuesday right here on the Utah Grizzlies YouTube channel. And, of course, we'll have all the action for you as well, the streaming audio, if you will. You'll get to look at Tyson and I all season long. It's going to be amazing. I like
my hoodie. You know, you talk about Mountain Land Supply Company being a big sponsor of Grizzlies hockey. I got a Mountain Land Supply Company hoodie.
Yeah, and you know what? You wear it well. It looks really good. So we will see you on Friday. We will see you right here on the YouTube channel. So for Siegfried and Jensen, for our good friends at Mountain Land Supply and Maverick, unfortunately, the good guys lost tonight to Tyson, as again, for the second year in a row, the Idaho Steelheads take both games of the preseason. Until Friday, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Thanks for watching Utah Grizzlies hockey right here